This is the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
Another season of high school football is here, and we're back on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture here at Claysburg-Kimmel to kick off the season. One of the most highly anticipated seasons in decades for the Bulldogs, looking to repeat as division champs in the ICC. Perennial power Berlin Brothersvalley in town on a gorgeous Friday night to start this new season. Great to be with you once again, battling the sunshine here in the booth. It's hot. It's a beautiful night for football alongside my friend Rick Call, Brian Tripp. I just talked about it, Rick. This is a Claysburg-Kimmel team that surprised everyone last year. Now it's a senior-laden group. No surprises this year. They're wearing a target on their back.
Oh, they've gone from the hunter to the hunted. They had a Meet the Bulldogs event the other night here at the stadium. Between 500 and 700 people showed up.
Well, for Berlin Brothersvalley, a younger team, but this is a team that every year finds itself at the top of the standings. And as we look at tonight's key players to watch, a big reason why we expect success again for Dante Paul in his first season as the head coach, taking over the reins from his dad, Doug, after 23 years, is Seth Kimmel, number 29, who is an anchor on both sides of the football. We'll see him in the running game tonight, and he's a tone setter on defense, where he's just a monster getting into the backfield. He had 84 tackles last year, second on the team to one of those many departed seniors from a year ago. But he's going to have to contend tonight with a true dual-threat star, Mason Campagna, the senior, making his third straight year as the starting quarterback for Claysburg-Kimmel. The Bulldogs quarterback last year threw for 1,500 yards, ran for another 1,200 yards, and had 22 touchdowns on the ground. Talk about one of the great dual-threat players in the state featured here tonight to kick off the season. Now let's take a look at tonight's priority first. Credit Union keys to the game. Rick, your keys here for the season opener.
Well, key number one for Berlin, O-line play. They're starting 3 sophomores across that offensive line. They better grow up quickly. They're on the road against a very good opponent. Key number 2, contain that man you were talking about, Campagna. He's such a good football player. They want to hold him to an average game, not let him have a great game. For Claysburg-Kimmel, key number 1, stay hungry. As you talked about, Brian, they were the hunter last year and not the hunted. And Coach Kasich is just worrying, wanting them to stay a hungry football team. Key number 2, protect the football. They've made some crucial turnovers at some crucial moments and lost some football games because of that. They have to hold on to the football.
You ready to go? I'm ready to go. I think everyone here is ready to go as well.
Everyone here is a buzz.
I can't wait for this. It's great to be with you once again. High school football is here, and we'll have the opening kickoff. When we come back, you're watching the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Kickoff is on the way.
The Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
Back to receive the kickoff for the Bulldogs, number 3, Tyler Mowry.
Welcome to the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals. I'm Joshua Hauser, the district manager here at the Good Feet Store in Altoona. As America's arch support experts, we believe everyone deserves to live the life they love, free from foot, knee, or back pain. From our local athletes on the field to our friends, family, and neighbors, life is a journey we all take one step at a time. Let your local Good Feet store help you take that journey without pain. Good luck to both teams tonight, and we hope you enjoy the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals.
Terrific crowd, 77 degrees and sunny skies here in Claysburg tonight as we open up a new season of high school football. A pair of 7-win teams from a year ago. Berlin Brothersvalley, as we talked about in the open, annually one of the best teams in the area, and Claysburg-Kimmel, one of the most anticipated seasons in a long, long time here for this veteran Bulldog team. Brian Tripp called the third member of our team. Jeff Page coming up a little bit later on tonight as well. And Rick, I could not think of a better matchup here in the ICC to kick off a new season of high school football.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. A team that graduated 12 seniors in Berlin, but still a talented football team against a team that has high expectations this year in Claysburg-Kimmel.
And we'll dive into those storylines with Dante Paul taking over as the head coach from his dad, Doug Paul, after a terrific 23 years. As this night wears on, but an offense that put up nearly 30 points per game last year for the Bulldogs of Claysburg-Kimmel. We'll get it here to start. Seth Kimmel kicks it away, and it's taken by Gavin Treon, who's got great speed, and he spins, got some moves as well as he hauls it out to the 27-yard line, and we'll get to look at that Claysburg-Kimmel offense for the first time here tonight. And this is an offense that is led by its dual-threat quarterback, Mason Campagna.
Yeah, and he is going to be such a key part of this football game. Berlin actually talked about maybe putting a spy on him.
Certainly is going to get a ton of attention throughout the year. It's nothing new to him. Was the starter his sophomore year, got injured just past the midway point of the season, had a great year last year. He's a multi-sport athlete, committed to Penn State to play baseball. And his coach, Chuck Kasich, said, you will not find a harder worker when your best players, also your hardest working when your best kids. It makes for a really, really dangerous setup. But he's not the only player in this offense that's going to get a lot of attention this year. They do have to replace their top back, Mark Lettieri, from a year ago. A ton of motion here to start on this first play, and it's Campagna off that left side, and he gets good blocking on the perimeter. Treon, who had that kickoff return, throwing that lead block. Looks like he picks up 5 on the opening play from scrimmage for this Claysburg-Kimmel offense. Speaking of that offense, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. They're brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. This is a really good group of wide receivers, and then Aiden Solar takes on a major role here, replacing Lettieri in the backfield.
Yeah, he does, and they're going to spread it out, and they make no mistake about it. They say, look, we teams know what we're going to do, but we have to execute our game plan. Replogle,
among many veterans up front, paving the way for this offense. Also protecting their quarterback, who's going back to the ground again, and he runs into a pretty big front there for Berlin Brothersvalley. He picks up 1. It will be 3rd down and 4. And Berlin, typically a very physical team. They may be a little younger, but this is a team that's really darn good again as we look at their defense tonight. And that starting lineup again brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts, for Dante Paul, who still will call the defense now as the head coach, and we'll get to that here after a pivotal 3rd down and about 4 here on this opening possession. Campagna looks to throw for the first time. If he's got time, he heaves it downfield and on target. Big first down pickup. Remy Deal across midfield and all the way down to the 41-yard line. Took a ton of time, but eventually number 11 came open, and you have a couple of seniors connecting for a huge 3rd down conversion on this opening drive.
And that's a great play by Campagna to extend that play, and a great play by Deal, as that play, everything was moving toward the near boundary, and he cut off his route, sensing his quarterback was in some trouble, and gave him a target.
It looked like the initial read was Tyler Mowry, who did come open along the near sideline, but Campagna had certainly his sights set downfield for a bigger play. So a pivotal 3rd down conversion and a new set of downs now inside Mountaineers territory. To the ground, and Aiden Solar for the first time, and he's got nowhere to go. Stacked up Ryan Janidlo. You'll see the Janidlo triplets tonight for Berlin Brothersvalley. The junior coming off the edge to make the tackle had 40 stops and 7 in the backfield last year for a very good Berlin Brothersvalley defense, a team that was anchored by their defense a season ago.
Yeah, Berlin is traditionally a very stubborn defense.
Yeah, you're saying it right there. 10-2 in 2023, 7-5 last year, but still 5-2 in the league. 7-1 their first year in the ICC. They play in the South Division. You got the North-South crossover here in week number 1. Not really traditional rivals, despite the proximity of the two programs. Just the third meeting all time, the coaches believe, dating back to joining the league the last couple of years. Campagna plunges up the middle for 3.5, then it's going to set up a 3rd and long.
And they're running right at the teeth of that defense again.
Just look at the size. Carter Twombly, senior, 6'1", 160, and there is that starting lineup we promised for Berlin Brothersvalley. Still some guys up front that can make plays. It's a really good front seven. Could be 4-down territory here early with the ball at the 38 on what we'll call a 3rd and 7. Campagna under pressure, escapes, then heaves it downfield, and it is held on to! What a catch on the interception! Mason Hoyman backpedaling, juggled, and then was able to reel it in while going down to the turf. And a big takeaway for Berlin Brothersvalley, and Hoyman comes up with the pick.
He took a pretty good shot. That's why he ended up going down and juggling that football. But, boy, what great hand-eye coordination to be able to hold on. Here's another look at it. Watch right here. The receiver knocks him down. As he's going down, he's able to pull that football in.
That is a Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee for sure right there. And Mason Hoyman, who his coach Dante Paul spoke about when we talked to him earlier this week, said 100% effort and a guy who's just going to show up. Might be undersized, but is always going to show up when the lights come on a Friday night. And really for a lot of this group, they're playing under the bright lights for the first time here with such a young team.
Yes, they are, and we'll see how they respond the rest of the way.
So they start at their own 20 and a physical run to the 25-yard line. And we expect to see a plethora of different ball carriers tonight for Berlin Brothersvalley. Carter Durst gets the first carry of the year. 11 carries, 20 yards last year. They lose an outstanding running back in Cooper Houston, who ran for nearly 1,200 yards a season ago, and he really was the anchor of the offense a year ago.
Well, you saw right there with Durst, that was all north-south, lower the shoulder.
They go right back to Durst off that right side, and Durst picks up 3. It'll be 3rd and real short here for Berlin Brothersvalley as we take a look at their offensive starting lineup. It's brought to you by the Good Feet store. Brady Janidlo at quarterback. This is a group that hasn't proven it yet on Friday nights, but Coach Paul said they may have a few surprises up their sleeve.
He talked about he's not the creative offensive mind that his father was, and he kind of leaves that up to his offensive coaches. And Bob Bauer's a longtime assistant, kind of handling those chores.
Durst got the first 2 carries here, and now on 3rd and 2, go right back to the big back, but he's tripped up at the line of scrimmage, if not a half yard behind the line of scrimmage. A great play by Replogle coming off the end to stall out that Mountaineers offense. And here's that Claysburg-Kimmel defense. Our starting lineup's brought to you by the Good Feet store, and they've got some really good linebackers. Replogle, Slowick. It's really a talented front seven.
It's very talented.
So they force a punt here. Berlin Brothersvalley can't capitalize on the early turnover. Ryan Janidlo kicks it away. Pretty good kick back at his own 39-yard line. Jacob Herline zigzags towards the sideline and then is pummeled by Durst shy of midfield, and that's where Claysburg-Kimmel will begin its second offensive possession of this opening quarter. Scoreless game with 6:13 to play here in the first. And, Rick, you can see a physical football game here to start between two really good football teams.
And we expected nothing but, when we talked to the coaches earlier in the week, they said physicality is what both of these teams are going to bring to the table. And this has been a great start so far. Very enjoyable.
Berlin Brothersvalley last year, as I said, 7-5, 5-2 in the league, but started the year by thumping Claysburg-Kimmel, a game that was probably a lot closer than the final score indicated. Berlin won it 42-14. But a game that was pretty tight at halftime before that physicality we're talking about really took over for the Mountaineers. Approaching the midway point of this opening quarter, Tyler Mowry looks for space on the perimeter, but there's just nothing there. Corbin Cordell among a quartet of Mountaineers to make the tackle.
Yeah, great job by Berlin to string that out and let the reinforcements come up and make the play.
Heavy dose of the ground game so far, really to start each of the possessions for both teams.
And that's one good thing Berlin always does. They're so technically sound. You saw him set the edge so he could not get to the sideline and turn it upfield, Brian. That's a great job by the far side of that defense for Berlin.
Knock on wood, but a clean, penalty-free first quarter so far for the season opener. I think that's for Micah there. Aiden Solar switches to the right of Campagna, and he looks to set up a pass over the middle, hauled in again by one of his favorite targets, Remy Deal. 23 catches last year as a junior, had 12 catches as a sophomore. It's a pretty short pickup. 3rd and 6 coming up for the Bulldogs offense.
Yeah, it was a good open field tackle there by Corbin Cordell.
Called his name a couple of times already tonight for that Berlin Brothersvalley defense. He was a key contributor last year as just a sophomore, had 50 tackles and an interception, a part of that defensive backfield. And you see those open field tackles against big physical, great running receivers. It's hard to do sometimes.
It's very hard to do, and they're going to rely on their veteran guys. They don't have a ton of them. They're a young football team, so they're going to look to those guys.
One big 3rd down conversion on the opening possession, and they're not going to get one here on this second possession. Great play made by Levi Leonard, one of the heart and soul players of that Berlin Brothersvalley defense. It's a loss of 2, and it looks like Chuck Kasich, the 3rd-year head coach, will bring on the punting unit.
Levi Leonard, one of those veteran guys, a 3-year starter.
He is one of the very few seniors. We expect 2 to 3 seniors on each side of the football tonight for Berlin. Made a big play there, and big offensive numbers last year for Claysburg-Kimmel, but struggling to get going here in the early going. Trevor Brown with the punt. Some miscommunication, and that results in a fortuitous hop for Claysburg-Kimmel. Finally down by Gavin Treon down at the 13-yard line, and that's where Berlin Brothersvalley will take over when we come back. No score, 3:59 to play here in the opening quarter. You're watching the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. We're pleased to announce the return of the Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest, sponsored by USCO Federal Credit Union. One deserving senior scholar athlete will receive a $5,000 scholarship, courtesy of USCO Federal Credit Union. Complete rules are available at WJACTV.com/contest. All athletes are selected by their school's athletic directors or principals. Coming up at halftime, Wendy's salutes local teachers with Wendy's Teacher Appreciation. Back to school this week for so many of our schools here in our area. Brian Tripp, Rick Hall, Jeff Page, the third member of our crew. We'll hear from him coming up later on tonight. Now this field mostly engulfed in shadows here. The sun was certainly an issue at the start of the football game for some. A warm night, but we so far have not seen the heat be an issue as Durst, the workhorse so far, stays on his feet and rumbles all the way out just shy of the 30-yard line. It's a first down, and our first downs here in this first quarter are brought to you by UMH Properties. Live better, start sooner with UMH Properties. Visit UMH.com.
Boy, he's just a straight-ahead back, Brian. You get him the football, get him a little seam, he gets through it, and he is so hard to get to the ground. North-south runner all the way.
Rick, I want to check our roster here. He is listed at 5'9", 185. He is every bit of that size, and now a flag flies as they go to the motion man. And this is probably coming back here against the offense. Mason Hoyman picks up a dozen yards. It would be good for another first down, but for the first time tonight, our referee, Brian Burt, will address the audience.
Offense, number 22. 10 yards to the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
It's an illegal block in the back on Jack Carter, the junior wide receiver, blocking for Hoyman. And after a great start to this possession, this now puts the Mountaineers behind the chains, and you could see it, I believe, right there on the right side of your screen as the laundry came in for the first time.
Yeah, but going back to Durst, Brian, I agree with you. He looks a lot bigger than 185.
First and 19 from the 20.
Officially a first down and 19 after the penalty as we tick down on 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Jack Carter in motion. Pitch goes to Durst, looking for that lead block from Carter and company, and shows a little acceleration and burst there to get back out to the 26. It's a 5.5-yard pickup, but still behind the sticks here with the second and long coming up.
Yeah, you read my mind, Brian. I was talking about his north-south running ability. Right there, he showed some ability to put the foot in the ground, plant, change directions, and have that explosiveness.
Seth Kimmel goes to the sideline. He has yet to touch the football here. Probably the most productive returning player for this Berlin Brothersvalley offense, replacing Mac Ford, their quarterback from a year ago, Cooper Houston, Hayden Hutzel, Xander Rittenauer. The list goes on, but it seems like it's always next man up with this program. And right here you have Janidlo pointing for a couple of blocks downfield. He scampers to the 34-yard line, and all of a sudden, after a first and 19, you have a third and manageable coming up for this offense.
Yeah, and I loved what he did there, directing traffic. That's a headsy play right there from that young man.
Did not look like a first-time starting quarterback with that run, and I think part of the key here, when you have such a good defense like Berlin does year after year, don't put the ball in trouble. Really opens up the entire playbook here on this 3rd and 4. Durst looking for a block, and he is tripped up at the 36-yard line. Great play. Keeping him shy of the first. Mason Campagna. Oh, yeah, he does it on defense, too.
Yeah, he's the one guy I think that can match Durst in terms of strength and physicality on that Claysburg-Kimmel defense.
And here, deep inside their own territory at the 37-yard line, a 4th and 2. And the offense stays on the field for Berlin Brothersvalley. Dante Paul said he's not aggressive. He's not the risk taker like his dad. Well, if they elect to actually run a play here, we'll see. The defense may have jumped, and the hard count appears to have worked for Berlin Brothersvalley, which probably had no intention of actually snapping the football.
I was expecting either that or maybe just a quick kick, and they got what they wanted.
Red ball, encroachment, defense, number 54, 5-yard penalty, results, first down.
First penalty of the game against Claysburg-Kimmel is a big one. That first down, again, brought to you by UMH Properties.
It'll be first and 10 for the Mountaineers.
So out of a massive hole, and then on a 4th and 2, line up for the hard count, and it converts. That could be a momentum swinging play here, despite being still in the first quarter of the football game. Janidlo taking a shot downfield, one-on-one, and incomplete. Looking for his brother Carson Janidlo. Terrific coverage on the outside by Jacob Herline, who is as good a corner as there is, and they don't mind him being on an island one-on-one.
No, they'll take that matchup. They feel he can cover anybody. And you saw Janidlo, some hand fighting there, trying to create a little space for himself. It was a well-thrown ball, but like you said, Brian, the coverage was so good.
Brian Tripp, Rick Hall, Jeff Page down on the sidelines. We'll check in with Jeff later on tonight. We welcome our audience on Charge, also those live streaming tonight, and our live streaming brought to you by UPMC. Final 72 seconds of this first quarter of the season. No score, but a good one here. Durst takes the snap, goes to Hoyman, flags fly. Hoyman pinned in the backfield and then twisted down by Remy Deal. A loss of yardage on the play. I would assume Claysburg-Kimmel will decline the penalty.
That's what they're asking Chuck Kasich right now.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 players in motion. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
So Berlin Brothersvalley converts 4th and 2 thanks to the penalty. Now they're going the wrong direction, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 13.
Well, Brian, you I think it was the announcer's curse. You said earlier in the game, very clean game so far for first game of the year, and well, since then it's.
What's that? 3 penalties on this drive alone. Come on, you can't put that. You can't put that on me. First game of the year. After what we decided this is our 10th year working together.
It is.
I don't know if that's good or bad for our audience. Janidlo on 3rd and long. Pressure, heaves it through the fingertips of his brother Carson. Good coverage on the outside by Herline again. The staple to his hip, and it's going to be a 4th and long coming up here. Kick it away to Claysburg-Kimmel.
Well, that throw was a little bit high, but I bet if you asked him, he would say I had both hands on it. I might have been able to bring that football in.
I think he felt that same way about the jump ball down the sideline. Makes one of those plays, and we may have had a contender for a Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales. No one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. No score yet here. It's been a game of defense in and out of the hands of Mowry, and it looks like Berlin Brothersvalley has the second turnover of the game, and the Mountaineers do have the football. So a pivotal turnover on special teams, and Berlin Brothersvalley will have great field position when we come back looking to break a scoreless deadlock here. Late opening quarter on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Claysburg-Kimmel High School, the site tonight as we kick off a new season of high school football here on the Good Feet Store. Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Couldn't ask for a better setting. This is a great facility. We're actually going to be here again next week for a matchup between Clearfield and Bedford. Bedford renovating their home facility, so we'll be back here again next week. But they've welcomed us in with open arms here, and you couldn't ask for a better facility. And Berlin Brothersvalley will have the football here after the media timeout. Late first quarter. And the ball at the Bulldogs' 37-yard line. Rick, one of your keys to the game coming in for this Claysburg-Kimmel team, protect the football. It was a problem last year, 2 turnovers in the first quarter, and now their defense is on its heels here.
Yeah, well, the first turnover happened deep as they were driving the football. Not that bad. This one, they turn it over, and Berlin will start in plus territory, and their defense is going to have to rise up and make a play here.
And try to contain Carter Durst. Not a very productive offensive game for either team so far, but he does have 29 yards on the ground. He's lined up with Brady Janidlo in the backfield. Janidlo, by the way, no pass attempts in his career coming into the season. Just a little quick hitter here, and scooting through the secondary, Corbin Cordell all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Easy throw and a great run after catch for Cordell, and it's going to be 1st and goal for Berlin Brothersvalley.
That's a great play right there. That's a great call. Just give your quarterback an easy throw. Cordell's been so good here in the first quarter of this one. Shows the speed.
A great athlete, that junior. Figures to be a focal point of the offense all year long, and the ball now spotted at the 9-yard line. Final seconds of the first quarter ticking away, and we'll have 1st and goal to start the second quarter when we come back. Scoreless, but Berlin Brothersvalley is pounding on the door here after the long catch and run of 28 yards on the completion from Brady Janidlo to Corbin Cordell to wrap up this first quarter. No score, but Berlin Brothersvalley on the move. You're watching the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Fans from Berlin Brothersvalley anticipating their team going in for an initial score here to start this second quarter as we take a look at tonight's Fan Cam, and it's brought to you by the American Legion County Fair. And remember to enjoy the American Legion County Fair in Evansburg, August 31st through September 6th. Quiet right now, but they're hoping to have something to cheer about here in moments. Their team is 1st down and goal to start a second quarter in a game that is scoreless here between Berlin Brothersvalley and Claysburg-Kimmel, two teams that have high hopes again here in 2025, both looking to make a run in their respective districts.
Yeah, they definitely are. Berlin always expects, and as you alluded to, and you mentioned it a few times earlier, Brian, in the pregame, this has been the highest expectation level that this Claysburg-Kimmel squad has had in a while.
Yeah, I'd say. Look at the crowd.
Yeah. Do you like funnel cakes, by the way, speaking of fairs?
yeah, I'd go for it. So as this Claysburg-Kimmel crowd hopes to see their defense come up with a stop here. It is 1st and goal after that Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee, and it is Durst, the workhorse, who sidesteps one and dives down inside the 1. He's dragged down just shy of the goal line, but it'll be 2nd and goal from inside the 1 for this Berlin Brothersvalley offense as they look to break a scoreless tie.
That was a direct snap to him and straight up the gut he went. And I'll tell you what, that offensive line, we talked about them and their importance tonight, and their starting 3 sophomores. I think they're performing pretty well so far.
Only 104 total yards in that opening quarter. Greg Helsel, our excellent statistician, along for the ride again this year as well. Brady Janidlo back in the gun here. 2nd and goal, knocking at the door. Durst, I don't think he got there. He stacked up, may have lost a yard on the play. He's still on his feet. He's being dragged forward, but Durst unable to get through. Dustin Slowick, the junior, who's a big part of this defense, leading the charge, but a whole host of Bulldogs there along the line of scrimmage to stack him up. You never see a team line up under center anymore, do you?
Not much. I'll tell you what, I think Claysburg-Kimmel did a great job right there. They diagnosed that play. They knew it was coming, and they put some big bodies right in the middle of that defensive line and just nowhere to go for Durst.
There's a player down on the field for Berlin Brothersvalley, back around the 16-yard line. It is a very, very warm night here tonight, and hopefully things are okay for Alex Klutz, the sophomore left tackle, one of 3 sophomores to start on the offensive line tonight for Berlin. But we talked about the heat. We talked about the temperatures. It's been hot and humid here in this month of August for camp. But first night out there, laying it all on the line. And a lot of these guys, these are smaller schools playing both ways. It is a tall task to get through this one without some bumps and bruises.
And we were down on the field before the game talking to Chuck Kasich, Claysburg-Kimmel's head coach, and it's about 8 to 10 degrees warmer down there.
Coming up, make sure to keep watching for the UPMC Halftime Report. We'll look at the highlights from around the country, plus Wendy's Teacher Appreciation Honorees and the USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athletes. While they still tend to the man on the field, let's step aside. No score, 10:39 to go, second quarter here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. It was great to see Alex Klutz get up and go off the field on his own power. He's still on the sideline over there getting some medical attention from the athletic training staff, the 6'4" left tackle. And, man, they'll miss his presence here with a 3rd and goal from the 1 for Berlin Brothersvalley early here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they're already young on that offensive line, not a lot of depth. And to see a guy like that go out, that puts them in a little more disadvantage. Working on him over on the sideline over there, you saw.
Look at the tight proximity, though. That ball is so close to getting across the goal line for our first score of the year. Janidlo and Durst in the backfield. Stoltzfus comes in to play left tackle. It is Durst over 1, over 2, and over the goal line for the touchdown. Carter Durst with the touchdown, and Berlin Brothersvalley with the first score of the new year. That touchdown brought to you by the Good Feet Store.
Nothing fancy about that. Just give it to your horse and let him create some space and watch right here. We're going to have a great shot from the end zone, Cam, and there's Durst leaping and just taking it into the end zone.
Just a great block along the goal line. Replogle had a seam, but he was knocked away from the ball carrier at the last moment as he looked to break that play up. And here is Kimmel for the point after. We thought we'd call his name a ton here tonight. Really haven't, but he knocks on another point. It's 7-0. Berlin Brothersvalley in front. 10:21 to go here in the second quarter, and the Mountaineers take advantage of the special teams miscue from CK.
Yeah, it all started. It was a 4-play drive. Started at Claysburg-Kimmel territory at the 37-yard line. And 4 plays, and Durst finished it off. And, 2 turnovers tonight for Claysburg-Kimmel. We talked about they need to protect the football. They were unable to do it there on the kick or on the punt, and it cost them.
So now they'll have to play from behind here in front of this home crowd. And remember, they'll have to kick off for the second half. Long way to go here. Just moments into this second quarter. That, you never know, it could be our Bud's Auto Sales drive of the quarter. Bud's Auto Sales. No one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. As Rick just said, 4 plays, 37 yards. And Durst now up to 37 yards himself on the ground on 8 carries so far here tonight. And the focal point, it's week number 1. We're learning. You talk to the coaches. You have an idea. I know Jeff Page, our sideline man, was at the scrimmage that Berlin Brothersvalley had. But you never know what you'll see unfold in the first week. And so far, Berlin, despite being a young team, they look every bit as good as typically a Berlin team does.
Yeah, no question about it, Brian. Coming on the road, tough spot for a young football team to start away from home against a really quality opponent like Claysburg-Kimmel, and they've done a really nice job so far.
All right, now you have a senior team, all that expectation coming into the year, your season not defined by one game or by the opening 14 minutes of the first game, but really the first adversity to hit a really good and a real veteran Bulldogs team here early in the new year.
That'll be interesting to see how they respond, and they're going to count on Mason Campagna.
Great kick by Kimmel, driving Treon all the way back inside the 3-yard line. Gavin Treon then is planted at the 17. Jack Carter with the big hit, and Claysburg-Kimmel starting deep inside its own territory here on this possession.
I think Treon saw a little gap there, but he ran into his own man.
So Berlin Brothersvalley has the 7-0 lead on a 1-yard touchdown run by Durst. Campagna, 5 games last year where he ran for more than 100 yards at a season-high 196 yards passing against Glendale, season-high 188 yards rushing against Kerwinsville. He just put up some monster numbers a year ago, and this is where you lean on your big guy.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And that was another key to the game. Contain Campagna, and they've done a nice job of it so far, but he can break one at any time. We know that.
You saw the flag pop up there. It actually popped out of the pocket of our referee, so there was no flag. And here is Campagna getting to the edge, and he finishes his run really hard along the sideline, lowers his shoulder into Brady Janidlo. He picks up 13 yards and a first down. Our first downs here in this second quarter are brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet, where cars cost less in Claysburg.
And he got a nice block on the edge there, too.
Isn't that critical when you have guys, receivers who, they want to catch the football when they're committed to helping the entire team?
Yes, no doubt. You love to have those guys on your team.
Needed another block there, and then he is drilled in the backfield as a flag comes in as well. Talked about the physicality of this football game. Right now, the more physical team is the guests from Berlin Brothersvalley.
And that was Carter Durst who laid the lumber there.
And Rick, he was going the wrong direction, just looking for some sort of seam to get around the end, even with his speed. Ends up in a 7-yard loss. And an illegal block on Claysburg-Kimmel. And those penalties are now adding up. So turnovers, 2, penalties accumulating.
That's not a good thing. Not the start to the season they wanted.
And that's also the announcer losing track.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense number 3. The penalty is declined, second down.
So instead of a 1st and 25. Dante Paul's pretty pleased with a 2nd and 17. This is it for Claysburg-Kimmel. It's one step forward, then a couple of steps back here in this opening half.
Yeah, they've been their own worst enemy at times, for sure. They might be feeling a little bit of the pressure of the heavy expectations.
No, Chuck Kasich, their excellent head coach who's revitalized the program, talked about that with us. He said in every interview he's done, it's been expectations. How do you handle it? How do you handle the pass rush? Campagna on the run, drills it into the chest of Deal downfield. They'll get the penalty yards back and then some, all the way out to the 37-yard line. It's a 13-yard pickup and a very manageable 3rd down now coming up after he hit his favorite target, number 11, Remy Deal.
Yeah, that's a big play right there. As you said, that picked up the penalty yardage plus some, and very manageable 3rd down. You can run anything you want here, really.
You're going to have to find a way, though, to slow down Levi Leonard, number 61, who was in the backfield creating havoc on the play, just could not track down Campagna. This is a big 3rd down, it feels like, here early for Claysburg-Kimmel as they look to get some positive momentum.
No, I agree. I have that same feeling as well.
Campagna, designed quarterback run and nowhere to go. He is spun down right at the line of scrimmage by Carter Twombly, who just lives in the backfield in his career. 24 tackles for loss coming into his senior season. Had a big year last year, and he just made a big stop at the line of scrimmage on a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, he absolutely did. That's a huge play, and the momentum has belonged to Berlin here.
Every time, I just said it before, every time it seems like Claysburg-Kimmel's about to get on track, unable to come up with that critical play. And I think with that backfield empty, they knew that was coming all the way. Get this just away with Durst pressuring the punter and caught on the run by the speedy Carter, who's twisted down at the 41, and that's where Berlin Brothersvalley will go to work and look to add to a 7-0 lead.
And I like that punt return right there. Just catch the football, no dancing around, straight ahead, get what you can. I like that.
Trion ended up making the tackle for Claysburg-Kimmel. We've called his name quite a bit here tonight, officially spotted at the 42, but again, Berlin works with good field position here, just 8 yards shy of midfield. Is this what you expected from Berlin Brothersvalley? 12 seniors exit the program. I know the last name's the same, but new head coach. Really, it seems like this is the identity, as usual, for this Mountaineer football club.
Yeah, nothing surprises me with them. They're consistently a good program, consistently a well-coached program. Nothing Berlin does surprises me. Still a long way to go in this one, obviously.
With Cordell in the backfield on the direct snap, and Corbin Cordell gains a dozen yards and a 1st down into Bulldogs territory. That 1st down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet.
Boy, he has been terrific tonight on both sides of the football.
A lot of different looks for the offense, making sure their playmakers are getting the touches.
Yeah, it's been a well-called offensive game plan so far for the Mountaineers.
Bob Bowers, Coach Harding as well, involved in that offensive game plan, helping Dante Paul, just 27 years old, leading his team out of the tunnel tonight for his first game on the road in hostile territory. Not bothered by all the bells and whistles here of a Friday night.
There are quite a few bells.
Carter in motion, looking to spring a block, and he's still looking for a block on his feet for 3. Jaden Brown, the junior running back, with his first carry.
Well, that young offensive line, Brian, what a heck of a job they're doing so far, opening up just enough room for their backs to get through. And, of course, you know, when you have Carter Durst back there, he doesn't need a lot of room. He can run people over, but they've done a really nice job up front.
Looks like Stoltzfus is still in the game at left tackle here. Did not see Alex Klutz. Nope. Yeah, it is Stoltzfus still in there at left tackle. Alex Klutz remains on the sideline. Back into Bulldogs territory. Seth Kimmel for the first time tonight, and he explodes into the secondary, 16 yards. And another 1st down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. Showing off all the new toys, and Mr. Reliable comes up with a big run.
Yeah, you tell you what, you put the football in his hands, and he can make things happen, and right there he did. Great blocking on the left side of that line.
And I think we're starting to see it again here, that physicality of 2A D5 Berlin starting to wear down Claysburg-Kimmel on this warm night.
Yeah, they're starting to run downhill, and he is a load to bring down.
Eventually tripped up by Herline, but well after the line to gain. 1st and 10, play action. Janidlo into the flat, Cordell wide open. This may be coming back as a flag flies at the line of scrimmage. He does have another first down with 12 more yards as Herline trips him up. Initial indication by Brian Burt holding against the offense. A penalty-free game, you say, huh? Wasn't me.
Holding. Offense, number 61. The penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
It's interesting because Berlin Brothersvalley, I mentioned some other names, but much of their offense last year was geared around Cooper Houston. Seems like it's going to be by committee this year, and that can make a team a little bit more dangerous to defend. And any given night, when you trust so many guys, it can be that guy's game.
Yeah, you never know, Brian, and it can definitely make you much more difficult to defend, and it can keep guys fresher late in ball games. There's a lot of potential positives to having a lot of guys involved offensively.
Jaden Brown is back in the backfield, and he's just going to help pave the way. Instead, he gets paved. Through that line of scrimmage, though, Janidlo finds a crease. I was watching that head-on collision between Brown and the linebacker coming up. I think it was Replogle for Claysburg-Kimmel. Ends up being a pretty good pickup to get it back to a 2nd and 9.
And he was able just to sneak through a little bit of a crease there.
Brady Janidlo directing traffic. He's done a good job here at the reins of this offense. First time as the starting quarterback here in his junior season. Janidlo under pressure. He's drilled by Replogle, and that rush to throw. It's well off target for Cordell and incomplete, and Janidlo is slow to his feet.
Yeah, he is. He took a pretty good shot right there. He held that football as long as he could.
Well, Replogle, a guy that everyone in the league knows you have to watch out for. He might hear us down there saying, hey, where's the physicality from your side? Because he just delivered a couple of hard hits on back-to-back plays to set the tone for this defense.
Yeah, you need guys to step up and make plays for you when you kind of sense the game. I don't want to say getting away from you, but you need some momentum. You know the momentum is clearly going against you.
Certainly, I think, a teetering point. Right? Still early, but you can feel it starting to swing that pendulum one way or the other. This may be 4-down territory. Durst's back in. I wouldn't be surprised if it's back in his hands. They stack the box. Durst does get it. He stays on his feet, rumbling and bumbling, and then stumbles down at the 20-yard line. It's a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. How about an 11-yard pickup on a 3rd and 9 and a first down for Berlin Brothersvalley? Fans, during the 4th quarter of tonight's game, will be highlighting the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. Claysburg-Kimmel hoping for one of those moments right here. This quarter has been dominated by Berlin Brothersvalley. Approaching 4 minutes to play here in the opening half, and on the move looking to add to a 7-0 lead. Cordell slips another tackle, scoots down the sideline, stays on his feet. He's in there. Touchdown, Berlin! Great effort by Corbin Cordell, who goes into the end zone, and Berlin Brothersvalley, a stunner here on the road. The young Mountaineers have a 13-0 lead. That touchdown sponsored by the Good Feet store.
That's been one of their go-to plays here tonight. Just send him out into the flat. Nobody goes with him. He's been uncovered most of the night on that particular play, and
made a couple of men miss, dragged a defender with them, and Seth Kimmel just enough to clear the crossbar for the point after. It is 14-0 Berlin Brothersvalley in front. Approaching 4 minutes to play here in the opening half. Right now, all Mountaineers here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Gorgeous night here in Berlin Brothersvalley now with a 14-0 lead. Before we return to the action, we're pleased to announce the return of the Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest sponsored by USCO Federal Credit Union. One deserving Senior Scholar Athlete will receive a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of USCO Federal Credit Union. Complete rules are available on WJACTV.com/contest. All athletes are selected by their school's athletic directors or principals. One of the great promotions we do every year here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. We thank all of our partners and everyone for being back with us for another year of high school football. A little surprising here, I think, for Berlin Brothersvalley to come in and open up a 14-0 lead here on the road at Claysburg-Kimmel. Look, they've had their number. It's a bit different school size level, but Claysburg-Kimmel's getting punched in the mouth here by a very physical and a very athletic Mountaineers football team.
Yeah, no question about it. That last drive, 8 plays, 58 yards. Cordell, 2 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown on that drive. And Claysburg-Kimmel needs an answer, Brian.
No doubt about that, especially with Berlin Brothersvalley getting the football. They deferred the opening kickoff, the coin toss, and they'll get the football to start the second half. Still plenty of time to go here. Seth Kimmel kicks it away. He's got that pretty good right leg. And here is Gavin Treon looking to shake and bake and accelerate, and then he is dragged down at the 30-yard line. Maybe a touchdown-saving tackle made on the play by Zach Richardson. Kimmel was still back there, but it would have been mano-y-mano with a end zone in sight.
Well, you love Treon. You see the elusiveness right there. He saw a little seam. He was able to plant the foot and just burst right through it. I wouldn't object to getting him the football out in space right now. Seems like he has some the motor going here tonight.
No doubt about that. It's definite that Claysburg-Kimmel right now is losing the line of scrimmage against Berlin Brothersvalley. So how do you change that? And I think it's getting those playmakers, Treon, Herline, Deal, and Mowry, the ball in space from the quarterback, Campagna. Instead, it is Campagna, Kimmel, and company along the line of scrimmage. After 3 yards, he is brought down on the play. Carter Twombly, another tackle.
Claysburg-Kimmel's last 2 possessions have been 3 and outs with a punt. Their only other possession before that was 6 plays and an interception. So not a lot to speak of offensively for Claysburg-Kimmel so far in this football game.
Now, right now you have to tip your cap to the guys up front. Ryan Janidlo, Levi Leonard, Carter Twombly, Jake Phillip, the linebacker, Seth Kimmel at linebacker. They've had their eyes on number 4 all night long. Guns it to the outside, and timing just a bit off here with Tyler Mowry. Came out of his break, and the ball was already there. Through his fingertips, incomplete, and a 3rd and 7.
Yep, a little bit behind him, I think, and he just wasn't expecting it. As you said, Brian, it got there a half second too early before he could adjust to it.
That stops the clock, and all of a sudden, another big 3rd down here for this Bulldogs offense.
Yeah, Berlin's offense seems to be rolling right now. The last thing you wanted to do is give them the football back with a lot of time, all 3 timeouts left.
Claysburg-Kimmel averaged 29.5 points per game last year, 360 yards per game. Doing it through the air and on the ground. That's a good ball to the outside for Treon. Just what the doctor ordered, and he is spun down by Richardson again. They've had a couple of tangos here. It's a 13-yard pickup, though, and a 1st down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet.
That was about as great an example of a shoestring tackle as you'll ever see. I think he literally did grab him by the shoestring and pull him down.
And remember, that's the guy who maybe saved the touchdown on the kickoff return to start this possession. That is a big conversion, though, for this CK offense.
No question about that.
Even if they don't come up with points, it keeps the ball out of Berlin's hands. Fresh set of downs from the 45. Mowry in motion. Campagna on the ground, goes up the gut for 2.
Yeah, just not a lot there on the ground for Campagna.
Levi Leonard at the bottom of the pile was able to haul him down. It's tough to do, too. He is well put together. Mason Campagna, 6'1", 195. His coach described him as just a thick athlete, and the most glowing of terms for his work ethic and what he does to just be.
We talked about our student athlete award that we get, Brian. He's a member of the National Honor Society. Smart young man also.
He's got to be. He's going to the Ivy of Central PA. Treon makes the catch. Another first down. It's become a good go-to guy right there. Give him 10, and a first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. Let's take a look now at tonight's American Legion County Fair Fan Cam. And remember to enjoy the American Legion County Fair in Evansburg, August 31st through September 6th. Deep ball down the sideline. It is a jump ball, and Hoyman almost came up with the interception.
Campania's pass for Herline is incomplete.
Great effort by Suber there to go up and try to get that football. Both guys just battling really hard.
So it'll be second down from the 42 here. They've overcome some long yards to gain on this possession so far. I like it. You can see them starting to spread it out, Rick, a little bit more offensively. Campagna sets his feet again, goes back down the field again. Mowry is open. Oh, did he make that catch? Incomplete. Nearly pulled it in with one hand along the sideline, was juggling it as he went down.
Yeah, that ball delivered a little bit behind him again. He kind of had to turn, adjust to the football, and he juggled it just a little bit. And the official right on the spot there to make the call.
That'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs.
3rd and 10. The ball across midfield. I know I've said this, sound like a broken record tonight, but a couple of times now. Maybe 4 down territory. Too early to say that?
I don't think it is. I honestly don't think it is.
We'll have the coaches joining us at halftime as well. Jeff Page, third member of our crew. We'll check in with him for the first time coming up. Campagna pivots back to the near side of the field. Designed rollout. Wide open. On the money. Herline. He delivers a touchdown. 42 yards from Campagna to Herline, wide open. And Claysburg-Kimmel gets the score it needs here with 91 seconds to play in the opening half.
That's a 69-yard drive in 8 plays, finished off by the touchdown pass to Herline of 42 yards. And Berlin's defense has been so good here tonight. They let Herline free in the backfield, and he was able to take in the football from Campagna, who laid it out there perfectly for him.
Got the swinging gate coming up here, and it looks like a timeout taken here prior to the point after attempt by Berlin Brothersvalley. That touchdown brought to you by the Good Feet Store. It's one of our Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominees as well. And pretty adept timeout there by the first-time head coach. That's one of the things that falls on your plate now. You're calling timeouts there on the sideline. He recognized, hey, we didn't prepare for this yet. It's a new look. Let's not give away an extra point here in such a tight game here, end of the first half. And that is just a critical touchdown. Coming up at halftime, Wendy's salutes local teachers with Wendy's Teacher Appreciation. Welcome back to school, everybody. Have a great school year. We'll salute those teachers coming up here at the half. Go for a Frosty right about now, huh?
I love Frosties.
on this warm late August night. Gorgeous night. Some clouds have rolled in. You wouldn't know it here. So this time the traditional lineup for the point after. Nathan Fee is on to attempt the kick, and Nathan Fee makes it a 7-point game. That's what a veteran team does. Back against the wall, not only on the scoreboard, but a couple of times on that drive, Rick. And Claysburg-Kimmel comes up with a big score to make it a one-score game here late in the second quarter.
And with that different look, setting up for the extra point, they forced Berlin. They forced Berlin to use a timeout right there, Brian. So don't discount that as an important thing. We'll see how that all plays out here.
No doubt about that, Rick. This is great. I just love being back here. Love being with you, Jeff, our great team, led by Dave and Alicia Emenheiser and Ryan Corcoran and Shannon Allison. All the familiar faces. I haven't seen them since October, and we're back with them again. We got some kinks to work out first night too, but all in all, I mean, pretty great opening night of high school football. We thank everyone watching online, digitally as well. Our live streaming partner, our digital sponsor is UPMC here. Life-changing medicine for this outstanding season of high school football.
I can't wait to go down to Jeff at halftime and hear from the coaches to hear what they think about this first half of football. That's going to be really interesting to hear what they have to say.
Well, I know the old coach himself's got some good questions teed up. 14-7 our score, 91 seconds left, second quarter. It's always great to start the year, too. And you see the 407 there in the backfield?
Yep.
There's also a baseball field here, dual-purpose facility. They have the turf, play baseball here. It is one of the nicer venues in all of central Pennsylvania. Our first time here. We'll be here again next week. No, sorry, crew, you do have to strike the gear after the game.
407, that's longer than most major league stadiums to center field.
Yeah, that's out there towards that nook, right? That'd be a shot at PNC Park. O'Neill Cruz maybe trying to pepper one out there. Sorry, I can't go there. Week number 1, my friend. Late August. But you're going to a local game over the weekend.
I sure am.
My good friend Joe Putnam hooking you up.
And I thank Joe for that. Can't wait to see Connor Griffin in action in person.
Altoona Curve coming up this weekend. Trevor Brown kicks it away, and the ball taken at the 17-yard line. And some blocking there for Corbin Cordell, just scored a touchdown. And pretty good field position again as brings out for a 27-yard return to the 42-yard line. And time, certainly the enemy here for Berlin Brothersvalley, but 2 timeouts, 1:24 to go, and plenty of time to work with.
They've had good field position a lot tonight. Their last 3 drives have begun in plus territory, their own 42 and their own 41, so they've won the field position battle here.
You're all over that, and I'm all over the stat. I want to make sure I get it in. Berlin Brothersvalley still had a good year last year. Went 5-2 in the league, 7-5 overall. Lost 18-0 to Bedford in the D5 2A championship game to end Doug Paul's career. But over the previous 5 seasons, only had 9 total losses. Ball's on the ground, nearly a big turning point there. That's why we say you just expect it, no matter if there's changing coaches, different players, younger players. Doesn't matter. You just expect it with what this program has done. Had that great run back in the mid-2010s, all the way to a state semifinal. You just expect it with them year after year.
You absolutely do, and I think they started from a young age. These guys really come up. They all play the same system, that good feeder system they have out there.
Rick, from 2010 to 2023, they went 133-32 with 13 winning seasons. Durst breaking free. Durst the first down. As again, he rumbles across midfield, 14 yards, and that first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet.
Looks like he might be a little slow to get up here.
That would be, that looks like bad news the way he is on the turf there, and medical staff quickly will tend to him with his hands up over his face mask, and he has that right knee angled up and left leg extended, is back on the turf. He's been a workhorse tonight. That was a big play there into Bulldogs territory. And they will certainly check on, and we hope nothing but good things here for Carter Durst. Had the injury earlier to the left tackle, Alex Klutz. And the entire team on that sideline, I think, hearts in their throats right now, knowing how important this guy is.
And you just don't want to see a friend go down.
No.
And he has 11 carries for 61 yards, including a touchdown.
Klutz, who left the game earlier, I believe, has not yet returned as well. He's to his feet. Nothing but well wishes here for Carter Durst. It's not a smooth gait, but it's a good sign. While they tend to him, let's take a look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the quarter. Bud's Auto Sales. No one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. And it was that last drive here, one of our nominees for drive of the game, that resulted in the touchdown. This is a look at Durst's last run and going down as live action is back underway. A quick hitter to Brown, but he stumbled down to the line of scrimmage. Clock is running. 2 timeouts for Dante Paul and not using one right here. Surprised that he didn't elect to stop the clock. 2nd and 10. Janidlo quickly gets his team lined up. It's just down to 10 seconds. And now flags fly. That will stop the clock.
That's going to be a false start.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
I mentioned first-time head coach Dante Paul's had a great night so far. But, again, that's something new on your plate here.
Yeah, I think he's pushed all the right buttons so far in his coaching debut. Now he is going to use a timeout.
Try to regroup this offense for 1 or 2 last plays here with 8 seconds left in the second quarter. So they will talk this over, each team on the sideline. And Rick, when you look at where this game's at right now, Claysburg-Kimmel with a 3rd and long that they turn into a 42-yard touchdown pass from Campagna to Herline, showing their explosive ability. Come up with a stop here with 8 seconds left. You got a 1-score game, even with Berlin getting the ball going to the second half.
Yeah, I think both teams have something to be happy about. Berlin, obviously, a young team coming on the road against a really good team, having the lead at halftime, playing as well as they did. And then from a Claysburg-Kimmel standpoint, as you said, being able to hang in there and put a drive together and gain some momentum late in this half. So I think they have something to build on as well. So I think both teams can go to the halftime and look at each other and say, we got something good here.
Let's take a look at that aforementioned touchdown right here. And this, again, we go back to it, Bud's Auto Sales drive of the quarter, one of our drives of the game nominees, and Campagna downfield, Herline wide open on the money, and nothing but turf in front of him until it goes from green to blue. That's a good thing for the home team.
Yeah.
Could and should and will likely be the last play of the opening half with a sack. Remy Deal as the first half ends and the momentum back in the hands of Claysburg-Kimmel. Throws down Janidlo, who was trying to buy all sorts of time to heave it downfield, and it's a 14-7 Berlin Brothersvalley lead here at the end of the opening half. But in this opening half, a tale of 2 halves with Claysburg-Kimmel back within 7 and some momentum going into the locker room.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think both teams, as I said, have something they can look at and say, we did something really good in that first half. And we'll hear from Jeff here momentarily as he's going to be joined by Berlin head coach Dante Paul. Can't wait to hear what he has to say after his first half and his coaching debut, Brian. It should be good.
Yeah, a coach that I think was excited with the first 20-plus minutes, probably a little frustrated there at the end. And Jeff Page is getting ready. I think he's cueing Dante. Hey, it's Dante's first time under the lights, queuing him up for what he's going to ask here going into the locker room at halftime. Jeff Page now ready to go with the first-year, 27-year-old head coach Dante Paul.
If we're going to be a competitive team this year, we can't use inexperience as an excuse. So I think we started slow, obviously, but I think they answered the call a little bit, got their feet wet, and second half there we got it rolling a little bit, but we've got to execute better.
33, Carter Durst. He slices and dices, but he's a finisher as well. What do you have to say about his first half?
Yeah, he's a tough kid, man. He can do it all for us, lower the pads, get some tough yards, but he also has the ability to, take anything into a big play. We just got to keep working, get on blocks, and solidify the drives a little bit better.
Your team looks fundamentally sound on both sides of the ball for week 1. Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you, sir.
That's a great compliment coming from our guy Jeff Page there as well. It's a fine-looking beard Dante's got, and a 14-7 lead at halftime. Marching band's great traditions of high school football. We're back. 1 half's in the books. The Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture at halftime. Brought to you by UPMC's coming up. Back here at halftime, and a 14-7 game. Berlin Brothersvalley in front here on the road against Claysburg-Kimmel. One of the great traditions, high school football. You know, I can smell some of the concession stands food here at halftime, but high school football wouldn't be the same without the marching bands and the community coming out and rallying and supporting their teams. But Berlin Brothersvalley against one of the top dogs this year in the ICC, Claysburg-Kimmel, with a 14-7 lead here on the road, and they'll get the ball to start the second half. Overall, Rick, a terrific first half of football, a little sloppy at times, week number one, but two really good football teams. You never know what to expect, and we expected a good game, I guess, and we got that.
Yeah, we're being treated to a great game. Big crowd here, as you said tonight. They're all being treated to a great game. You kind of get the sense that Claysburg-Kimmel, when they got Gavin Treon involved more, he had a couple good kick returns. And then when they started throwing him the football, getting the football in space, he was able to use that speed and that elusiveness. When they got him involved, it seemed like the offense really kicked up a notch.
You talked about some of those big plays from the first half. We're going to take a look at them in just a moment. But how about that? That Central Pennsylvania, that's a sunset, and bookmark that one, screenshot it, however you're watching, soak it in, because that's pretty darn cool from here in Claysburg for week number one. As the sun sets on the first half, we take a look at our highlights from that first half. And a scoreless opening quarter. Had a couple of big plays, though. Remy Deal's been all over the field tonight, and most of the big plays have been broken plays for Claysburg-Kimmel. Here, a great interception by the defense, and Mason Hoyman juggling it. Again, a scoreless opening quarter. You can see why, because all the plays made on the defensive side of the football until that guy, Carter Durst, got going.
Well, one thing I think we failed to mention here tonight is Berlin and their sound tackling, Brian. That they have not missed many tackles here tonight. Or on the other side of the football, Berlin's been able to escape some tackles and pick up some additional yardage.
Yeah, look at there. Campagna to the sideline, drilled going out of bounds. Jack Carter's had a nice game. Corbin Cordell having a good game. Seth Kimmel getting involved. Yeah, it's a whole host of guys. Here is that touchdown from Corbin Cordell scooting down the sideline. And this is the second score of the night for Berlin. That made it a 14-0 game before Claysburg-Kimmel would answer. You just talked about it. Missed tackles. Boom, 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 and in.
That's been a big story tonight, and you know, I haven't mentioned it enough, I don't think, but Berlin's been very short tackling on most cases, and Claysburg-Kimmel, they've missed a few tackles, and that's extended some drives for Berlin.
And right there is that touchdown, Rick, at the end of that first half from her line on the 42-yard pass from Campagna. That made it a 14-0, becomes 14-7, made it a one-score game going to the half as you look at the numbers. Because of that big play, pretty even, just slightly tipped to the team that's in front.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Claysburg, 126 yards, 69 of it came on that last drive for the touchdown, so they really put it in gear on that last drive. But right before that, though, you had to give Berlin all the credit in the world for what they've done against a very talented offensive team in Claysburg-Kimmel.
Claysburg-Kimmel down 7 here at home. Berlin Brothersvalley, that physicality with the 87 rushing yards. Bands head off. Teams will come back on. When we come back, we'll have the second half kickoff. Brian Tripp, Rick Call, Jeff Page, our entire crew. Half number 2 coming up here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
The Good.
Hopefully we have the coach. The Bulldogs take the field for the second half in front of their home fans here, trailing it by a 14-7 score. Berlin Brothersvalley in front here, week number 1 high school football on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Marching band's terrific performances at halftime. It was interesting watching Claysburg-Kimmel parade down through the stands to take the field for the second half. I can't say I've ever seen that before. They certainly have the momentum, Rick, as we go to half number 2, as Berlin Brothersvalley had that hot start, but then it became a one-score game. Jeff Page is getting set with Coach Chuck Kasich here, who's in his 3rd year. He's also the principal here. Talk about a guy juggling a lot of things in the month of August.
It's been a very busy month for him, but he's handled it so well.
No, he's about to get a bit busier, too, because Jeff Page is down on the field with the head coach of the Bulldogs, whose team has a target on their back and has a 7-point deficit going into the second half. Jeff?
Coach, you've got a veteran squad, down 7 at the half, week 1. What were your challenges in the first half?
We expected them to be pretty physical with us, and they were. You know, their run game is tough. Their backs were physical. We've got to play lower. We've got to tackle a lot better in the second half.
What was your message there at halftime?
We got 2 halves to play. They had their half. Now it's our turn to have our half.
How big was that score at the end of the second quarter for you?
Extremely huge. You know, keeps us in a one-score game. We get a stop. Now it's a different ball game.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Absolutely.
All right, 2 guys. A little history and connection there between Jeff Page and Chuck Kasich as well. Chuck actually played for Kevin Marabito at Ferndale. He was at Ferndale for a long time. Portage, and comes down here to Claysburg-Kimmel, and in his 3 years as a head coach after a few years as an assistant, Rick, he has done a tremendous job with this program. They're not used to dealing with hype, and all of a sudden they're dealing with it for one of the first times, and I can't wait to see what he does this year.
Well, and I think he's a perfect guy to lead him in that situation. His positivity is infectious, Brian. And he preaches to these guys, have fun. It's a game. Have fun with it, and I think that's a great message to give these young fellows.
Well, he said that his former head coach, he gave him some sage advice here, right? He reached out. It wasn't Chuck reaching out, Coach Kasich. It was his former coach, Coach Marabito, reaching out to him and saying, here's what you have to do, because now you're the hunted and not the hunter.
Yep, and when you become the hunted, it makes things a lot more difficult, a lot more pressure on you, and I just think he's the right guy to handle it.
So a 14-7 Berlin Brothersvalley lead here, and Jeff certainly has those connections as well. I know we have Jeff down there on the sideline, and Jeff, we're just talking about the experience of Chuck Kasich and Kevin Marabito. We know you have a ton of connections to this group as well, and you're also a guy who can relate to what Dante Paul's going through tonight, taking over for his dad, who's the longtime successful head coach.
Absolutely, guys. I'm walking the Berlin Brothersvalley sidelines, and I see a guy down at roughly around the end zone at the goal line, way back off of the field, and I look back and I do a double take, and here it's former Berlin Brothersvalley coach Doug Paul. So I go over to him, I shake his hand. If I'm being honest, I give him a hug. I say, Coach, how are you? And he said, I'm doing well. I'm not going to lie, guys, he was a little bit teared up. It was about halfway through the first quarter. It was just a really neat thing to see. Obviously, he's very proud of his son, and it's week 1. They're on the road against a veteran team, and so far so good for Berlin Brothersvalley, but as Coach Kasich said, there are 2 halves to play.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and that's a great story, great observation from the sideline, Jeff, and we loved our interactions with both these head coaches, Doug Paul, through the years. And Rick, do you think Doug was more nervous when he was coaching or watching tonight's game?
That's a fair question. Probably watching.
I would guess so. I'm with you on that one.
And you notice Dante Paul said when I was playing for him, I called him Coach.
No, he said still
I didn't call him Dad.
No, even in his phone, the contact is still Coach Paul. And Coach Paul is watching his team return this kickoff with Carter taking it out to the 32 for Berlin Brothersvalley to start the second half underway with Berlin Brothersvalley up 14-7. I couldn't imagine that in your phone all those years, Coach Paul instead of Pop or Dad or whatever you want to go with.
The football community can be a very tight one at times, very small, very tight.
Yeah, Isaiah Paul, actually, the brother of Dante Paul, just a few years younger, on the staff for Berlin Brothersvalley. It truly is a family affair, and Doug Paul still the AD at Berlin. Isaiah was a freshman on Dante's team, Dante's senior year. He said when Dante was at Clarion, he was always sending notes from huddle highlights that he was watching while he was a college football player, played 3 years at Clarion. 9-yard pickup here on first down for Berlin Brothersvalley. Hoyman with the carry on the jet sweep, trying to find a way to get him the football. I just love that. I think it's all in the family, right? It's a community. We actually asked Dante Paul, so what are your earliest memories? He said he remembered being a water boy first, second grade, and they had a team that had just a great run, lost to Rochester in 2004, I believe, and Derek Moy, who went on to play at Penn State, was on that team, but that was his dad's first undefeated regular season in district championship.
Yep.
Movement up front and a first down here out to the 47-yard line. We'll check on the penalty markers. Good to see Carter Durst back in there, but not good to see him back with his back on the turf.
5 yards on the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Referee Brian Burt there. It looks like he's suffering some cramps, and those are so much more predominant early in the season when it's this warm, Brian, and they're trying to stretch him out on the field.
So they're going to work on him right there. And, yeah, they're working on that left leg again there, Rick, of Carter Durst, who had that terrific first half. We saw the penalties start to add up. He had 61 yards on 11 carries in that first half. But we saw the penalties start to add up in the second quarter.
And that's our injury report brought to you by Berger and Green, the injury and disability lawyers.
Yeah, we thought week number 1 we wouldn't have too many of those, but tend to him, had their left tackle, Alex Klutz, go down early. Also without Marquin Suber tonight as well, a senior running back who expects to be a big part of their offense as well.
I don't know if you've ever had a muscle cramp, but they are extremely painful.
And again, as Rick said, our injury report tonight brought to you by Berger and Green, the injury and disability lawyers. And they're working on Durst still, and gives us an opportunity to tease tonight's school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. There's the bus. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. That's coming up later on tonight. We'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA, as we welcome them into our Friday Night Rivals family here in 2025. Durst to his feet and jogging off under his own power off to sit out one play. And I think that sideline, that huddle, is going to be happy to see number 33 come back and look pretty good.
Yeah, he's such an important part of this football team. And he's actually a co-op player from Rockwood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chuck Kasich was joking, and again, it was in jest. Come on, they got 2 schools. We only got one. We're small. He actually did say, though, the graduating class this year for Claysburg-Kimmel is up to 71, which is big. A couple years ago, it was under 50 students here. Just shows you how much talent you can accumulate among such a small student body. So the penalty makes it a 2nd down and 7. Remy Deal off the end. Nearly got Janidlo in the backfield. And they are going to mark Janidlo down. It is a sack again for Deal. Deal, who had 17 and a half sacks last year, drags him down for a 10-yard loss. He had that big sack at the end of the first half, and he's starting to make his presence felt off the edge.
I want to correct something I said. It is not Durst who is a co-op player. It is Seth Kimmel. My apologies.
So Deal, who came into tonight with 20 and a half career sacks, 17 and a half of those last year. And Rick, he just picked up 2 sacks on 2 of the last 5 offensive plays. Back to last half.
Well, he seems like he's really getting it going here tonight. Yeah, we talked about it earlier, Brian. You rely on those senior guys and those veteran guys.
Janidlo, they keep an extra blocker in, zips it to the outside. It was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Pressure was barreling in on the quarterback again. Incomplete, looking in the direction of Corbin Cordell. Didn't matter, would have been well shy of a first down. And Claysburg-Kimmel, after Berlin commits the penalty, comes up with a stop, down 7, just a minute and 54 seconds into the second half. They're going to get the football and a chance to tie this up.
Yeah, and if you're Claysburg-Kimmel, that's what you wanted. Opening kickoff, you're kicking off to Berlin, get a 3 and out, get your offense back on the field.
Punt by Ryan Janidlo, and again a special teams miscue for Claysburg-Kimmel. Fortunate Treon back to recover that football, but costing them 15, 20 yards there, mishandling the football, and they'll start at their own 25. You talked about field position, a story of that first half.
Yeah, a huge field position advantage for Berlin, and the only drive Claysburg-Kimmel had, they had to go 69 yards, almost the length of the football field, and Berlin had a short field in there.
See some of the first half stats there ticking across the bottom of your screen. A 14-7 score, and Claysburg-Kimmel with the football now did score on that long pass of 42 yards from Campagna to Herline. The only catch for Herline in that opening half. Seemed like they do have, Rick, an advantage with the speed of their skill position guys on the outside. If Campagna gets time to block, he throws an interception here. Cordell taking it back. Cordell down the sideline, and he is in. It's a pick six. At that pylon again, that's where he scored moments earlier.
Boy, Cordell has had a tremendous night here. Just when you think Claysburg-Kimmel, we talked about it all night, Brian, they make a couple of plays, get back in the football game, and then at times they become their own worst enemy here tonight. Give Cordell a lot of credit, jumping the route. I don't know that Campagna ever saw him. I don't think he did.
38-yard interception return touchdown for Corbin Cordell, and again goes over that pylon where he scored back in the first half on a catch and run of 20 yards. His second touchdown tonight, one on offense, one on defense. That touchdown brought to you by the Good Feet Store. That certainly is a nominee for our Levin Furniture play of the game. And the script flips in a matter of moments here as Kimmel belts through the extra point, 21-7 Berlin.
Bring your score to the Mountaineers 21, the Bulldogs 7.
That is a monster play by a Berlin defense. Anytime you can get a score on the defensive side of the football, look out.
Humongous. And again, I don't think Campagna ever saw him. And Cordell just able to sit back in that zone, and he was able to kind of read the eyes of the quarterback, and he was just able to jump the route, and he was off to the races.
Another man down for Berlin Brothersvalley on the sideline.
I believe that's Brady Janidlo, number 8.
Starting quarterback for.
It looks like he's cramping up too.
Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate on a night like this. The only good news for Claysburg-Kimmel here after that is you get the football right back and a chance to get those points back. But what was a one-score game and you had the ball and momentum quickly becomes a two-score game again. Yeah,
a quarterback's like a pitcher in baseball, goalie in hockey. You have to have a short memory. You have to have a short memory. You go back out there, forget about it, and move your football team.
Second INT, third turnover tonight for Claysburg-Kimmel. One of your keys, protect the football. Campagna had 11 picks last year, just 7 interceptions. And right now, that's one of the differences in this football game, not being able to protect the ball. Seth Kimmel will kick it away. Treon and Mowry deep. Treon, who has shown some flashes tonight, gets another chance. But there is nowhere to go. More sure tackling for Berlin Brothersvalley. Brennan Fogel, a sophomore, number 7. One of the ones leading the charge for the stop along with Jack Carter. Claysburg-Kimmel backed up again. And Treon hobbled coming to the sideline. Another playmaker they could ill afford to lose.
Yeah, I think he was in large part responsible for that momentum shift in the first half. He had a couple of nice kickoff returns and a couple of nice catches, broke a couple of tackles, and was able to really make some positive things happen on the offensive side for Claysburg-Kimmel.
21-7, long way to go. Still 9:39 to play here in the third quarter. But Claysburg-Kimmel needing a response. Really have not used that ground game tonight. Flag comes in back in the direction of a hold. Aiden Solar picks up 5 stands.
Flag on the play.
Even there, punishing blow delivered as he was brought to the ground.
And Berlin very physical, as always.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay. First down.
Senior left tackle, Landon Woods. Guilty party this time. For an offensive line that's led by such a Smart center and Dustin Slowick. Mitchell Dodson, Jordan Talaski, Backstrom, Rep Logel. Trying to protect Campagna here, zips it to the outside and just through the grasp of Jacob Herline sliding down. Good coverage on the play on the outside on Herline by Lane Sovanak. You can hear it here. There's a little tension growing on this home side where the press box is, where we're located.
Yeah, it was place was buzzing earlier right below us, and kind of sitting on their hands a little bit right now, waiting for something to get excited about from this Claysburg-Kimmel team.
Yeah, when Cordell took it into the end zone on the pick six, the clock was at 9:47, 9:23. I mean, talk about matter of just seconds, how quickly things can change. They do need to get their playmakers the ball. Mowry bottled up, and there's just nothing there. They're not winning the physicality right now, speed. Berlin Brothersvalley, Seth Kimmel and company there for the stop. Should mention Jake Phillip, who's played a nice 1-2 punch at linebacker with Kimmel tonight as well. Number 50. Haven't really called his name enough. He's right in the heart of that defense, which has just kept Claysburg-Kimmel bottled up all night long.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned something else in there, too. Not only the physicality, but the speed of this Berlin team. I don't think we realized they were as fast as they were, Brian, tonight.
We should have listened to Dante Paul. He said, we got some athletes on our team this year, and there is no question. And they look a lot faster here on this turf surface. We've gone down there to Berlin a couple of times. That grass starts growing. You start to get that pitch out there on that field. Campagna in need of a big play over the middle. Herline dropped the football. Had a chance to make a big play. There were shoe steps coming in there as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he heard footsteps or what, but kind of alligator armed it a little bit.
Tough, and right now just no one able to make a big play for Claysburg-Kimmel. Brady Janidlo, who was on the sideline stretching out moments ago, was the man coming over to support in coverage, and if you said footsteps, it may have been from him. And Berlin Brothersvalley will get it back, and with good field position.
Trevor Brown to punt. Back deep for the Mountaineers, we have Cordell and Carter.
So Trevor Brown kicking from his own 3. Corbin Cordell and Jack Carter waiting near midfield. He's running with it. It is 4th and 17, so he decides to kick it away. And it's going to land shy of midfield around, depends on the spot, at the 42-yard line, and that's where Berlin Brothersvalley, inside opponent's territory, takes over with a 14-point lead.
Yeah, second drive tonight, they'll begin in plus territory. 3 out of the last 4 Claysburg-Kimmel drives have been 3 and outs.
The only score of the second half, the 38-yard interception return touchdown by Corbin Cordell. Durst back in there. That is a great sign for this offense. Janidlo in there as well as Kimmel's the motion man. And they're going to run behind that left side, and Seth Kimmel looking for a lead block. Nothing there. And brought down by Rep Logel. And that's a 2-yard loss. Still Stoltzfus in there at left tackle. We saw Klutzlev earlier tonight. Try to keep some of the injuries that have amassed updated for our audience. There are the cowbells starting to ring, hoping to support this home team and see if they can propel a comeback. Durst again. Durst this time gets a seam, but he is tripped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Picks up 3 or 4. And it's going to be a 3rd down and a long 7 coming up for the Berlin Brothersvalley offense. And Durst, after the run, goes back down as he's been dealing with cramps throughout the course of the night. Try to get a little help from his teammate right there, Ryan Janidlo, to stretch him out, and then the professionals come on in. 7:27 to play here in this third quarter. Not surprised to see them now lean heavily on the ground game, too. That's kind of the MO. You're winning physically at the line of scrimmage, get a 14-point lead, and use the clock in your favor.
And I'll go back to it again. 3 sophomore starting offensive linemen for Berlin. They've performed admirably here tonight.
Let's check out the American Legion County Fair Fan Cam. And remember to enjoy the American Legion County Fair in Ebensburg, August 31st through September 6th. And we're looking at the side of Berlin. I promise it is an excited group the way the game's going right now, but they're concerned about their workhorse running back, Carter Durst. That is our fan cam tonight here. Always traveling home and away, that Mountaineer faithful, and the homestands packed with this highly anticipated season. See what they can do. Can they make a run? Claysburg-Kimmel in the district this year. And again, working on Carter Durst, who's been dealing with that thing all night long. Rick, we've done this 10 years, and I think we've seen this every year, week 1 for 10 years.
Yeah, we certainly have. And last time it was his left leg. This time it's his right leg. And again, I'll go back to it. If you've never had a muscle cramp, they are incredibly painful, Brian. They are. You just feel like your muscle just tightens up. There was a young guy up at Richland, the running back, McCracken.
Yeah, Evan McCracken, right?
He had Evan McCracken. He had a lot of trouble with those. They tried a lot of different things with him, nutrition, stretching, all kinds of different things. And for whatever reason, some guys just get them more than others.
Yeah, it's those. It's not just the hydration. You need the electrolytes. There's the pickle juice. Do you go with the sports drink? Do you go with the liquid IV? What are you doing to prepare tonight? Now those guys aren't cramping up out there. They're waiting their chance. We'll see you in about 8 years, kid. You'll be on Friday Night Rivals under the bright lights. This is great. You have young, old. I saw people tailgating the game tonight. This is what it's all about. You get a community together. Sorry, man. I'm a Pirates fan right there. You get the community together, the student section out, entire school. This is the place to be. We talked about it in the pregame. Claysburg-Kimmel had 500, 600 people here for Meet the Team a week ago tonight.
That's amazing.
Now you're here to actually see the team, and you're just hoping it's a great year. No matter what happens in week 1, it certainly doesn't define your season.
I have an idea, Brian. Oh, he's throwing strikes with the football. I like that little mixing of 2 sports there. I have an idea, Brian. Why don't you buy the Pirates and?
Well, Durst is to his feet here. Rick, I don't know how much you think we're making for these games. I don't know what you're making for this game. So great to see Durst jog off again to the sideline. Hopefully gets a little fluids in him and gets back in there. He's been a key cog tonight for Berlin Brothersvalley. Here's a big third down. Must get down to the 32 for a first. Durst out and Seth Kimmel in, and Seth Kimmel explodes. It's that second effort all the way into the second and maybe even third level. 11 yards and a first down here in this third quarter. First downs are brought to you by UMH Properties. Live better, start sooner with UMH Properties. Visit UMH.com. They haven't used them a ton tonight, but when they have, Seth Kimmel's just getting it done.
I tell you, when you can go from Carter Durst to Seth Kimmel, that's a pretty good combination right there. Nothing fancy either. Just hand it to him. A little trap play right up the middle, and he just runs downhill. And I know Jeff will appreciate this. Always falls forward, picking up additional yardage.
Taught from a coach, speaking like a coach. Great to have Jeff Page joining us this year on the sidelines as well. That was a huge third down conversion. This game about turnovers, explosive plays, and big third down conversions tonight. Back to Kimmel again. He picks up 6. Mowry made the tackle. Kimmel is put together for a high school kid. Their senior listed 5'9", 210. Ran for 326 yards last year, just over 4 yards a carry. 3 touchdowns his junior year. Actually, 3 touchdowns his freshman year. There's been some big games, though, for him in the past. Ran for 79 yards on a dozen carries last year against Winburn. On 2nd and 4, he has the hot hand. And there he is falling forward again. And he appears to have enough for another UMH Properties first down. Campagna, pretty big customer himself, made the tackle.
Yeah, right now if you're Berlin, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep handing the ball off, eating the clock up, keeping Claysburg-Kimmel's offense off the field. No need to put the ball in the air unless you have to right now, Brian.
past the midway point of the third quarter. Pretty slow-moving third quarter here. A couple of the injury timeouts. Give Brady Janidlo some credit back there. You see him orchestrating this thing at the line of scrimmage in his first start against a pretty good team on the road.
Yeah, and he's looked very calm and comfortable, has he not?
And has trouble with the snap and recovers the football with Campagna barreling down on the pigskin. Great play by Janidlo, right on cue.
I was just going to say that, right on cue.
You know, after 10 years, I think we can speak for each other at times. Look at this, saving a near turnover for a team that's been playing a pretty clean game.
Now, in his defense, that was a very high snap, and he probably made a good play just to go up and knock it out of the air and then have the presence of mind to dive on it.
Only results in a 3-yard loss. They're in the red zone here. Corbin Cordell in motion, and Janidlo fakes it, stays on his feet. Janidlo spinning a pirouette. Look at that run. Down inside the 5-yard line. One of the plays of the night. Another Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee, and another first down brought to you by UMH Properties. You got to give the slippery quarterback some credit right there, but missed tackles also the name of the game on that spectacular run.
That was Deal who had the grasp of him in the backfield at first, and he was able to escape that. And, boy, he has just played a terrific game here tonight. His first start again on the road, hostile environment. And he's made a lot of right decisions for this Berlin offense.
See who Dante Paul rewards here down inside the 5 on a 1st and goal. Kimmel and Janidlo have gotten him down here. And it is Kimmel. Lowers the shoulder, barrels down inside the 2. That has been the 1-2 punch on this drive. I'm not sure with such a young team I expected it. It is a deep Berlin football team.
Yeah, you wouldn't think by looking at them they're as inexperienced as they are. We talked about it. Claysburg-Kimmel got a lot of contributions last year from underclassmen, where Berlin was a really senior-laden football team.
Kimmel across the goal line, a 3-score game. Touchdown, Berlin. Seth Kimmel. From 1 yard out, that touchdown brought to you by the Good Feet store.
That is huge right there. That was a 42-yard drive. It began in plus territory. They just ran and ran and ran, and really not a whole lot to the outside, Brian, right at the teeth of that defense.
Time-consuming drive as well, Rick. And remember, with only a minute and 50 seconds expired here to start this third quarter, Claysburg-Kimmel got a stop. It was a 1-score game, had the football. Next play, pick 6, and now a 27-7 Berlin Brothersvalley lead. Claysburg-Kimmel got the score late in the first half, had the momentum coming into the second half, continued that to start the quarter, but right now Berlin Brothersvalley has a stranglehold of the football game. 28-7 Mountaineers in front here on Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture from Claysburg. Shot from the end zone, and that end zone has belonged to Berlin Brothersvalley here tonight. They've opened up a 28-7 lead over Claysburg-Kimmel. This is where they pulled away last year against the Bulldogs, and they're doing it again here in the third quarter with the only 2 scores of this second half.
Yeah, this has been a very... I'm trying to think of the right word here to talk about Berlin's effort. Very sound effort. They've made all the tackles. They've forced a couple of turnovers. They've moved the football. They picked up third downs. I mean, they haven't been really fancy about it, but it's just been almost like a systematic effort, if you will, Brian.
Fundamentally sound for a young team.
Yes.
They are really making... It's not flashy. Certainly Corbin Cordell had that great catch and run, the pick six. Had the spinning run by Brady Janidlo. And you got to give offensive players the credit where credit is due. But they're the team that's doing just about everything right here tonight.
A lot of it has just been overpowering Claysburg-Kimmel, which we did not expect.
Still plenty of time. Gavin Treon has had some big plays tonight and trouble handling that skipping kickoff that goes in for a touchback. So that big play won't come on special teams here. Good to see him jogging normally again. He looked like he was banged up a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him get more involved. He's been a pretty bright spot here tonight on the offensive side for Claysburg-Kimmel.
No, but that's the thing. Claysburg-Kimmel needs to figure out who's going to make a big play, because now down 21 points, you can't just... You're talking about methodical. Can't have methodical drives. Their one touchdown, a 42-yard catch and run. You're going to need more of that.
Yeah, you need to get some skilled players the football with time and space.
Probably should have expected it from Berlin Brothersvalley, right? Year after year, mentioned their record and all the winning seasons and district championships. Doesn't matter who the moving pieces are. Pressure again from Twombly. And Campagna slips that, then floats it for Mowry along the sideline. 14 yards and a first down. That first down brought to you by UMH Properties.
We have a player down here for Claysburg-Kimmel. I didn't see what happened. It was kind of away from the play.
Remy Deal down on the sideline. Down on the middle of the field, and he's pointing at, I think, his left leg on his back. And the medical staff will come and tend to him. Unfortunately, an all too frequent scene here tonight. Great setting for high school football. Beautiful night for high school football. We'll actually be here again next week, Rick, as Bedford's Field is being renovated this year, and Clearfield at Bedford. But here at Claysburg-Kimmel next week, our game week number 2 of the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. That's going to be Friday at 7 o'clock on Charge, over the air 6.2, Breezeline Channel 115. You see the channels there for Comcast as well, of course, streaming as well, and our streaming brought to you by UPMC. That's next week, Clearfield and Bedford into the Laurel Highlands, that ever-expansive Laurel Highlands next week, for a team in Clearfield that ran the table last year in the league, and a Bedford team that's always expected to be there in the hunt at the end of the year.
Yeah, to me, Bedford and Berlin are very similar programs, Brian. Not a lot of kids, but they're always a physical team. They always have some outstanding athletes. They develop at a young age. They start developing these young guys, and they just always seem to have success.
Great to see Remy Deal to his feet. Well, for Clearfield, they'll have to replace Brady Collins, of course, a terrific back who was one of the best backs and had one of the best years in the history of the state of Pennsylvania running the football last year.
Yeah, he was something to watch.
We had a game up at Clearfield last year where they played Bald Eagle area, actually. It was Bald Eagle area. He ran for 238 yards in that game. Last year had 2,652 rushing yards and 36 touchdowns. Man.
There were some teams that didn't have that.
No. No, Clearfield eventually lost in the Class 4A quarterfinals to Thomas Jefferson. They had a great year. Here's a shot for Treon down the sideline, trying to drop it in the bucket. Flag comes in with Richardson pushing and shoving in coverage. He doesn't like it. It looks like it's going to go against the defense, and Claysburg-Kimmel, again, trying to stretch that field.
Well, live speed, I'm not sure if I agree with the call either, but see if we can take another look at it here. He may have grabbed him.
Pass interference. Defense number 24, 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
The chunk play, thanks to the penalty.
And here's another look at it coming up. Let's see if he grabs him right at the end here.
Pretty good ball there, and yeah, I think a little tug of the jersey as he's trying to get that last step. Remy Deal still on the sideline. He's on his feet, hydrating. They're going to need him down 21. Strike over the middle and incomplete for Mowry. And Mowry looking for another flag that time with Mason Hoyman trailing in coverage. See those shoulders turn, all of a sudden that's when you anticipate a flag coming in. Maybe a makeup no call? We get, we're playing doctor tonight with the cramps. We're playing announcer tonight. Not sure how we're doing at that. We can't play official as well. 2:42 left here in this third quarter with the defense anticipating pass. Claysburg-Kimmel looking to catch him with a run from Aiden Solar. Does not fool the defense. Solar picks up 3. Gets the ball just across midfield.
We'll see at some point if Claysburg-Kimmel decides to maybe start going no huddle and showing a little bit more urgency. Time becoming their enemy.
14 minutes left in the football game. Campagna's had an up and down night. He's certainly shown flashes. Try to again fool the defense with Solar on third down, but you're not going to fool this defense for Berlin Brothersvalley. Levi Leonard, 61, one of the great players in the area, one of the great tone setters for this team. Stood him up at the line of scrimmage.
He has had a terrific night. He's been able to fight through blocks and make good penetration and just blow up plays.
You were discussing a hurry-up offense with them in 4-down territory. I think that was the thing there. Can you make it 4th and manageable? Backfires. You have a 4th and 8, and they have to go for it. Campagna's had no time all night long. Flushed out, throws over the middle. Mowry made the catch. First down, Claysburg-Kimmel. Mowry tough to bring down. Takes it to the 39-yard line. Good for 13 yards and a first down, brought to you by UMH Properties.
If Claysburg-Kimmel's able to come back in this football game, we're going to look at that play right there as Mowry just right down the seam and to keep this drive alive.
Have to get this nugget in. As he kept his feet moving, hard to bring down, we asked his coach, give us a nugget on him. He said he moves his feet like he's starting the Flintstones car. And
he did say
that was it right there. Some kids watching tonight, they have no idea what we're talking about. We're dating ourselves. Zips it, catch, Treon tried to spin free, and then Seth Kimmel cleans it up. And when I say cleans it up, he came in with the HVAC system.
He'll put a whack on you for sure. There's no doubt about that. This Berlin team, very physical here tonight, as always.
Shows you how technically sound I am in the amount of cleaning I do. I meant shop vac around the house there.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah. We're shaking off the cobwebs tonight as well. Campagna in a rhythm and on target and in time again. And it's Herline who has another first down, 11 yards. That's brought to you by UMH Properties as the third quarter winds down.
Herline been very good here tonight. As coach said, he came in this year bigger, stronger, better.
That will take us to the end of the third quarter. Campagna getting in a rhythm. Claysburg-Kimmel, critical drive here to start the fourth quarter. Got to finish if they want any chance of coming from behind tonight. It's all Berlin Brothersvalley thanks to a 14-point third quarter in front here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture.
Ziegler Chevrolet, Claysburg, owned by CK alumni Bob Ziegler. 84 Club, B4 Club Therapy, owner Superman.
gorgeous night to kick off this high school football season. Tonight's digital broadcast brought to you by UPMC. Brian Tripp, Recall, Jeff Page, our outstanding crew here for the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. A third quarter dominated by Berlin Brothersvalley. Corbin Cordell, 38-yard interception return for a touchdown, and then Seth Kimmel, a 1-yard plunge after a time-consuming 42-yard drive. Berlin Brothersvalley took the momentum back. I will say that Claysburg-Kimmel, though, thanks to some rhythm in the passing game, has a little life here, down 3 scores to start the fourth quarter as they're on the move.
Yeah, they're showing some fight. We expected them to, and of course it's their big offensive guys and their senior leadership that's providing that spark for them right now. We'll see if they have enough time to come back in this football game.
The bad news for them is we've talked about some injuries tonight. Remy Deal is still on the sideline being tended to. Down here in front of us, does not have his helmet in his hands right now. Campagna throws. Kimmel was in the passing lane and certainly obstructed that pass intended for her line.
Well, I thought he was going to try to go a little bit deeper downfield. He had a receiver running an out route and decided to go underneath instead.
2 guys impacting that play. Campagna throwing the football. Kimmel on the defensive side are 2 players to watch at the top of tonight's broadcast. Week number 1, he's kind of picking out of a hat a little bit there. Maybe not so much with Claysburg-Kimmel and with Campagna and what he brings back as a dual-threat quarterback. We've certainly seen some moments tonight from him, but really just hasn't been consistent, this offensive effort for the Bulldogs against a great defense.
That was another key, contain Campagna. Berlin's done a nice job of that here tonight.
Yeah, they're spying him a little here. He goes deep downfield. It's intercepted. Picked off by Jack Carter back in front of the goal line. He is still on his feet, and he is planted at the 13-yard line. That is the 3rd interception tonight by Berlin Brothersvalley and the 4th Claysburg-Kimmel turnover. That's the story of the football game.
Blanket coverage. He tried to put it in a real tight window right there. Just couldn't do it.
Trying to make a big play, right? That's what happens when you're down 3 scores starting a fourth quarter. Running out of time, trying to make a big play, and instead comes back to bite them, knowing that they need to get that ball into the end zone fast.
Yeah, sometimes you kind of try to force it in there because you know you need that big play, that score.
So you had a Hoyman pick back in the first quarter. Corbin Cordell ran one back, a pick 6 in the third quarter, and now to start this fourth quarter, Jack Carter, the junior, with an interception. Flag flies again. I take back everything I said about the first quarter.
55, 5-yard penalty, first down.
The voice of our referee, Brian Burt, here tonight. You really have to credit Berlin Brothersvalley. 7-5 last year, 5-2 in the ICC South, finished 3rd in the division. It was neck and neck. I remember we did a game down there pretty late in the year. They were competing with Northern Bedford and Winburn, North Star, jockeying for a position in the league. Northern Bedford went 5-1 to win that conference. Winburn 7-2 in the conference last year. Seth Kimmel brought down by the Shoe Tops back near the original line of scrimmage, a 5-yard pickup.
Off the right side.
Once you get one game under your belt, though, Dante Paul will probably be feeling pretty good after this one. Jeff told us earlier that he was observing Doug Paul. His pop down on the sideline earlier, and it was a little emotional for the longtime head coach now watching his son take the reins at just 27 years old. I can only imagine what he's thinking now, and tomorrow will probably be film study together.
And they'll find something to say, hey, guys, look, we weren't that good. That's what coaches do.
Kimmel again with Carter Durst still not back in the lineup, dealing with cramps all night long. Picks up 2. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, definitely has to be emotional to see your son taking over this program for Doug Paul and to come out and play the way they have here tonight.
Dante told us that back at the end of last year, and had a good run last year, he told the team, I'm putting my name in the hat. Wasn't guaranteed. It wasn't an automatic passing of the torch, but said, if I'm the guy who gets this chance, He set the goals and expectations then, got the job, carried over. And it's fitting that Paul is the head coach of Berlin Brothersvalley. Janidlo stayed behind the line of scrimmage, took a shot downfield, but overshoots Kimmel, who got a little separation. Alert play to try to make the big play. Incomplete, and Claysburg-Kimmel does come up with a stop after the turnover.
I thought he was going to take off and run. Looked like he might have had some room there. And he changed his mind, and as you said, Brian, tried to go downfield for the big play, just couldn't complete it.
At Berlin sideline, I think the heat's been a factor tonight. Up 28-7 on the road opening night. You'd expect that group to be going nuts. It's just, what can I do to get through week number 1, get home, have a soda, maybe a little ice cream tonight. Flags fly because of a potential personal foul here at the 40. It's down at midfield.
Yeah, the receiver, punt returner, came up and put a lick on one of the Berlin players. Looked like he might have come up a little high on him. The flag flew immediately.
A couple of yellow markers down there on the field. We're into the Laurel Highlands next week with Clearfield playing here against Berlin at Claysburg-Kimmel, hosting the, Berlin Bedford, hosting the Bedford home games this year. As these guys sort this out. And look, 28-7, frustrating night for Claysburg-Kimmel. You got to keep this under wraps, and I think that's the discussion right now. What's the call? What's really the ramifications of this going to be?
And honestly, that could have been a little frustration right there on Claysburg-Kimmel's part.
Gives us some time, Rick, to start debating player of the game nominees, and I think it's going to be Corbin Cordell. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at this. Here we go.
You'll see him come up right here and put the shot on Janidlo, and now he did. That looked like helmet to helmet and a little blindside hit as well.
Yeah, it wasn't the return man. It was Trevor Brown, I think, 13.
The ruling on the field is a flagrant personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Kicking team number 13. Number 13 has been disqualified.
I thought that may be the call there coming from the officiating crew. Chuck Kasic's going to get an explanation.
Well, he said it was on the kicking team. It was actually on the receiving team. There he's correcting himself now. He said the kicking team. It was actually the receiving team.
Now Kasic and Brian Burt, I don't think Kasic's all that pleased with the call. You can tell there. Burt pretty animated as he came over. We did a game last year between State College and Altoona. The game was ugly.
It was 45-0 at halftime, something like that.
And the officials lost control of the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing like that. I don't think it was malicious intent. But in a game like this, frustrating, opening night, hot, make a call, stick with it, and move on.
Yep. And I think that's just exactly what they're going to do here.
I don't think there's bad blood between these two teams. A lot of respect, great programs, great communities, as evident by that shot there. But you never want to see, you want to make sure that you're staying at the helm here if you're the officiating crew.
One good thing, we see Remy Deal running up and down the sideline. Looks like he may be ready to come back in the football game for Claysburg-Kimmel.
He's not going to come onto the field right here with the offense. That penalty backs him up to the 35. Again, impacts their field position. That's been a problem here tonight.
Yeah, when you're in a situation like this, Brian, you can't give up that yardage.
No, it's been penalty. It's just another penalty, too.
Getting the right personnel on the field. Claysburg-Kimmel, I think we'll get back to some action here.
Jordan Talski, freshman, on that offensive front. 54 is the last man to join his group out there. I think there was a little confusion after the announcement. Offense, defense, kicking team, receiving team. 3-score game, 10 minutes to go. Don't count out a senior-laden team yet that's got some playmakers like Mowry, who makes the catch, but he is tracked down and brought down immediately Out in the flats by Jack Carter, who just had that interception to stymie the last drive. Another sure tackle.
Berlin's tackling. You read my mind again, Brian. Their tackling has been so good here tonight.
It's a fundamentally sound football game.
There have been so few yards for Claysburg-Kimmel after first contact, where you look at the other side, Berlin, a lot of yards after contact.
Yeah, you can look at the turnovers, you can look at the penalties, but ultimately, Berlin Brothersvalley is just playing an outstanding football game. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year, just like 58 is there coming in on the rush. Pass is complete to Herline. Herline out to the 48-yard line. It's a game of 15 and a first down. I'm just impressed he got that away with a man bearing down on him.
Yeah, great composure in the pocket for sure.
And we love to give every player credit where credit is due, but we do not have a 58 on our roster. Campagna, deep shot, and Herline in and out of his hands. Great battle for that football. Coverage from Corbin Cordell, who's had a great night in the secondary. Knocked it away at the last moment.
And they were going for the downs there, trying to get a quick score and get back in this game.
That's my guy right now for player of the game. He's the leader in the clubhouse.
I'm right there with you.
And the way he's played tonight, he's going to be like Scotty closing out on a Sunday.
The chip he made on 17 last week was just ridiculous.
Mallory's in motion. Aiden Solar up the middle. Another sure tackle brought down by Carter Twombly, who we don't talk enough about.
Just no yards after contact for Claysburg-Kimmel. Everything that Berlin has done defensively has been sure-handed. Their tackling, their ball skills in the secondary, Brian.
Really an outstanding game. Jake Phillip, see there, 50. Twombly, Levi Leonard in the middle of that defense on the defensive front. Good time to throw by, Campagna is almost picked off again. Looking for Herline, who is slapping his helmet in frustration.
And another cramp.
That is Cordell, who jumped the route again. But he is cramping again.
Looks like it's in that calf area.
While they tend to him, we're going to step aside here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Once again, congratulations to tonight's Scholar Athletes. USCO Federal Credit Union is recognizing high school seniors with great accomplishments in academics, athletics, and community service this season with the Scholar Athlete of the Year Scholarship Contest. The contest nominees will have a shot to win a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of USCO Federal Credit Union. Complete rules at WJACTV.com/contest. Lexi, Mason, kudos to you. Outstanding work, not only in your athletic endeavors, but what you're doing for your schools and your communities. And on that note, one name I want to mention here tonight, Tammy Carson, who's the student council advisor at Claysburg-Kimmel High School. And all of the work that student body does, led by Tammy's efforts, fundraising, school spirit, community endeavors. Tammy is a rock star at Claysburg-Kimmel. And Chuck Kasich, the principal and head coach, wanted us to mention her name. I can see why it's a special place. This is a special place, and she's a big reason why. Kudos, Tammy.
Well said, Brian.
Back to action after the cramping player, Corbin Cordell. No time tonight for Campagna. He's been running for his life all night. On the run, slings it, needs it. Incomplete. Knocked away. And a couple of guys sliding in there, breaking it up. And Carter was in there along with Hoyman and some others, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Berlin Brothersvalley takes it back over, and now they'll look to salt this thing away.
From the 48 for the Mountaineers.
He almost snuck that into a very, very tight window.
But they're getting dominated up front. He has no time.
Well, here's the thing, Brian. We were talking earlier in the game about the 3 sophomores starting on Berlin's offensive line. We were wondering how they might hold up. Their coach was wondering how they might hold up. When you look at the offensive line for Claysburg-Kimmel, it's been the defensive line of Berlin that has really, really controlled this football game.
Dante Paul, who's still calling the defense as the head coach, was calling the defense the last couple of years, has to be thrilled the way they have just shut down Campagna. They're taking over the line of scrimmage, and an offense that averaged 30 points per game last year has very little here against Berlin Brothersvalley tonight. It's been just an outstanding performance, and Dante Paul is less than 8 minutes away from his first career victory.
Great game plan, great execution by that Berlin defense. The offense has done enough to contribute from their standpoint. So,
Dante, a former All-State player for his dad, Doug, was a part of that 2015 Single-A state semifinal team. Memories go back years for him. All he knows is Berlin Brothersvalley football. He said when he was real young, his dad was coaching junior high. He doesn't remember that, but then the next 23 years, so the majority of his life has been around this program. Jaden Brown tracked down. Lost 3 on the play, looking to get back around that right end. Landon Woods made the tackle. Rep Logo also in there as well.
Another thing Dante Paul talked about was when you have a young team, guys, he's worried about them playing within the system. Guys, he said he was preaching, everybody just do your job. You do your job. Let the next man do your job. Let the next man do his job. Play within the system. I think we've seen that here tonight, a very systematic approach by Berlin.
They said there would be some special attention given to Campagna, and we've seen it play out that way tonight.
Sure.
But he said it's not one guy. It's not Kimmel. It's not Leonard. It's got to be a team effort. They come with the blitz, and Kimmel pops it. Seth Kimmel down the right sideline. Lowers the shoulder, stays in bounds, walks the tightrope all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Berlin. And that is an exclamation point on the night for the Mountaineers.
That's his second rushing touchdown. He had the 1-yard plunge earlier. Takes this one 48 yards. Showing some speed we weren't sure he had.
He's the one with everything left in the tank here at the end of the game. A 1-2 punch tonight with Carter Durst. And talk about a finisher in Seth Kimmel. Doing it on the defensive side, bottling up Campagna, just giving him fits tonight. And now a couple of touchdowns to open up a 34-7 lead. That touchdown brought to you by the Good Feet store. It's a Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee. And he tacks on the extra point as well. What can't Seth Kimmel do? There's a reason we spotlighted him right at the top tonight. It's a 35-7 Berlin Brothersvalley lead here with 6:14 left here on the Good Feet store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. All Berlin Brothersvalley now just taking over here in this second half with 21 unanswered points to take a 35-7 lead on Claysburg-Kimmel here in the opener on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rival.
The game presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Let's take a look at tonight's school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. Always a stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines. Points on your license and license suspension paid for by NHTSA. We could go on a number of ways. All Berlin Brothersvalley smothering this Claysburg-Kimmel offense tonight.
This is the school
just
bus
not what
stop
we
of the
expected.
game,
I mean, that
presented
was
by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
The course of the season, and again, we were just talking about it, Rick, as the school bus came rolling on in there. It's a defense that's rolling tonight.
That's going to be a nice bus ride home for Berlin tonight. How's that for a segue, Brian?
You check the box. Segway King of the Week this week. Oh, it's only week number 1. Well, next week we have Clearfield and Bedford right back here, and then we go up to the big boys the following week with Harrisburg at State College, which will be a dandy as always.
And if you've never seen a game from State College, I'll tell you what, Memorial Field, that is one of the most unique high school venues in all of the country.
Previewing our schedule the rest of the way, Central at Bellwood Antis this year. Myersdale at Berlin down the road, just trying to hit some of them here as we head into the home stretch here. Week number 1 underway. We got a good one close in the beginning, but in the second half for the second consecutive year, all Berlin Brothersvalley here opening it up. Hayden Kranick gets a touch on the return, number 33, a sophomore. See what Chuck Kasich wants to do with all the bumps and bruises tonight. How about this? Down 35-7 with 6 minutes to play. Guess who's going back in? Remy Deal, who's got his helmet back on. That is a great sign here offensively.
Yeah, it's a great sight to see for sure. He was running up and down the sideline, and you kind of got the feeling he was trying to work himself back into the game, and it's good to see him healthy enough to go back in.
We've lauded those guys all night long who I think are undefeated whenever we show up at their games, and we've seen some good ones from them through the years from Berlin Brothersvalley. Claysburg-Kimmel, yeah, frustrating, tough night, really, really good opponent, playing up a little bit against them. But they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year in the North. This one game can't define their season despite all the hype, and maybe it's just a reset button coming in for Campagna and company after week number 1.
Well, we talked about Coach Kasich worried about them staying hungry because they were the hunter last year. And this year they're the hunted. And he didn't want them to be happy with what they did last year and be content with what they did last year. They won some games maybe they weren't supposed to win. They really relished the role of underdog. This year they're not the underdog. And, the pressure mounts a little bit and you have to step your game up a level.
Let's take a look now at the Crawford Gift Shop Spirit Cam. Crawford Gift Shop, your black and gold headquarters. Check them out online at crawfordgiftshop.com. Go from the sidelines to Campagna, and this is his best play of the night. He spins all the way down inside the 34-yard line. Here in the fourth quarter, our first downs are brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. That's the best play tonight from Campagna.
Yeah, it sure was. He was able to finally get some time and space and make things happen with the legs that he has.
What a well-built athlete. Look forward to seeing him play baseball up in Happy Valley for Mike Cambino, who's done a great job with the Penn State baseball program first couple of years, has turned them into a force to be reckoned with in the Big Ten. Went to the Big Ten championship his first year, semifinal this past year out. And have you been to Omaha?
I have not, but I know the Penn State baseball announcer.
Got a cell phone number. Got him on speed dial. Here is Campagna over the middle. Tough catch by Herline. And Herline trying to get some extra yards, just fighting for every inch here. Sovanek brings him down. Pickup of 9. Well, he won't be the first quarterback that we've called to go and play baseball at at Penn State.
Adam Cesare.
Adam Cesare played at Forest Hills. He's a great multi-sport athlete there, 3-sport athlete. Started his career elsewhere, but ended up at Penn State. Was a standout 2 years ago there.
I think he started at Wake Forest for a Johnstown native who's a manager. Tom Walter, guy I played a lot of basketball with back in the day.
We talked to both coaches about small school. You want your kids to play every sport possible. Woo! Dipsy, too, from Campagna. It's just 3 yards, but it was flashy. It's the first down brought to you by Ziegler Chevrolet. It's a lost thing, and they said it's a good thing to be playing multiple sports. And this is a guy, he may not have made many workouts, but it was never listed as an absence. It was a T for he's traveling, playing baseball over the summer. Before this play, should give a shout out to everyone here at Claysburg-Kimmel for their hospitality tonight. They even hooked us up with the light up here in the booth.
And tons of food.
Tons of food. Little jet sweep action. Flag flies. That may negate what's a pretty good run for Aiden Solar. Most of the night he's lined up in the backfield, but there finally got some space so you could see what number 6 could do. Although may have been aided out by a hold on the left edge.
Yeah, he hasn't touched the ball a whole lot tonight. He's a wrestler. He's built low to the ground. He has that low running style. And just haven't been able to get him the football a lot tonight.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay. First down.
This officiating crew's done a terrific job tonight, led by Brian Burt. They need officials these days. You know that? It's a thankless thing, but get involved, help out. Tip the cap to all those fine men and women that are out there on a Friday night, making sure that these games are being played fairly, cleanly, and even being played sometimes.
And expeditiously.
Yes. Most places. Solar in motion. Timing wasn't perfect that time, but still able to pick up 6 or 7. Do you have a game on the schedule this year that you have circled for the one you're looking forward to the most?
Well, I'm kind of looking forward to that Harrisburg State College game because there's always some great athletes on the field when those two teams get together. A lot of D1 prospects between those two schools.
It's funny, you call this a young, not sure what to expect from Berlin this year. State College is in a quote-unquote rebuilding year, but I don't know that I've ever seen that team not.
Yeah, they don't rebuild, they reload.
Matt Lintell is one of the great ones that we deal with year after year. Great play to pick up a sack, Mason Hoyman.
Well, another game, Bedford at Richland. That's going to be on October 17th, and that's always a pretty good matchup. We have a lot of good matchups this year, for sure.
Also 5.
Bedford was a younger team last year, Brian. I think they might be expected to take a step forward. You know, Richland under Brandon Bailey, always a good program.
That Laurel Highlands, now with the expansion to include the Mountain League teams the last couple of years, it's something else.
It's a battle every week.
Flag flies. We'll see if it's an illegal formation or a defensive offside as Herline's starting to rack up the catches. Knocked out by the guy that I think is going to be the player of the game tonight, Corbin Cordell. It's going to come back. Seth Kimmel made a late run, though, at that nod.
That one's coming back. That's been the story of the night. A couple stories of the night, I think, for Claysburg-Kimmel. Turnovers, and every time they've taken a step forward, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. Be it a penalty or a turnover or a missed tackle, Brian.
As we wind down, approaching a minute to play here in this opening game, Treon unable to make the catch. Flag comes in. He may have pushed off on the play.
I think he did. Looked like that left arm straightened out and pushed the defender away.
Talking about prospects, and we'll get the call here officially from Brian Burt first.
pass interference. Defense, number 22, 15-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Actually goes against the defense and Jack Carter, who's been really good back there tonight. But we were talking about.
Let's take another look at this one here. Now, maybe from here, I think that's a good call by the official.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
Crew's done a great job tonight. $35-7. Campagna sets his feet, fires, almost a Odell Beckham one-handed grab there. Recently retired wide receiver by Herline. We were talking about prospects. Just want to get this nugget in real quick. When we have Harrisburg in a couple of weeks, Messiah Mickens is their running back. He's a 4-star prospect, one of the top 200 players nationally. So circle that one. Join us, folks.
I remember a game from him 2 years ago when he was a sophomore, and he was pretty highly touted then, and he's only gotten better.
And he is committed to play for James Franklin and Penn State. Their season opens up next Saturday. And pass batted at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. One more big play by that defensive front. Logan Kartswatsky, the freshman, got his paws on the pass from one of the better players in the area.
And, you can't get to the quarterback. That's good coaching. Can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. And that's a heady play by a youngster, a freshman.
Well, Rick, let's take a look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales, no one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. And Berlin Brothersvalley taking over here in this second half. 21 unanswered, going to take a knee as we get to one of our drives of the game here. And, we may not have it queued up, but it is the run down the sideline, 48 yards by Seth Kimmel. There it is, number 29. Told you it was coming, and there he goes.
And you called it right, Brian. That was an exclamation point. You saw 3 missed tackles on that run right there, and that's been a big story tonight.
And there was no doubt after that one. Really choose so many things. Defensively shut down tonight. And win number 1 for Dante Paul as the head coach of Berlin Brothersvalley. Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations to the Mountaineers. Impressive. 35-7. Victorious tonight here on the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals. Presented by Levin Furniture. Berlin Brothersvalley goes on the road against the division champs from a year ago and makes a statement. Young team, good team. Dante Paul and Berlin Brothersvalley 1-0 with the win here on FNR.
And what a win it was. And I'll tell you, we thought this was going to be a really tight game, and Berlin just came out and really took over early. They got the 1-yard touchdown run from Durst, then the touchdown reception from Cordell's. Only a 1-score game at halftime, but like you said, Brian, in the second half, they really just came out and imposed their will and won this one going away.
Don't go away. We'll have our live trophy presentation with the Friday Night Rivals trophy, courtesy of the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving, still to come. We'll hear from the winning coach. He's perfect in his career. Dante Paul 1-0 with Berlin Brothersvalley. They're 1-0. What a start. We'll be right back here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
I don't know either.
Back here in Claysburg, great night of high school football to open up the new season here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Berlin Brothersvalley, young team, comes on the road, beats a team with high expectations this year and a lot of hype, 35-7. The Mountaineers beat the Bulldogs tonight, and Jeff Page is with an excited group down there as we celebrate tonight's Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals winner with the Friday Night Rivals trophy, courtesy of the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving. Jeff, take it away.
Thank you, guys. Coach Paul, you've been a part of this program most of your life. Tonight's your first game as a coach. It's your first win as a coach. Is it fair to say that this was not a program-changing win for Berlin Brothersvalley? This is more of a program-defining win. This is what Berlin Brothersvalley does. You have a ton of underclassmen as well as a couple of seniors playing a lot of snaps out there tonight. You come on the road and beat a really good Claysburg-Kimmel team.
Yeah, I mean, first off, we got to tip our hats to Coach Kasich and Claysburg, man. They're a tough football team. Mason Compagna, he's going to be one of the better athletes we play this year. But, we pride ourselves on tradition. It's been a big motto for us this offseason, effort, tradition, and just execution. And we've checked the boxes on that tonight.
Congratulations on a big win. Really fundamentally sound for week one, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
And to my left, I've got our player of the game, number 12, Corbin Cordell. Corbin. Boy, for week one, you got a lot of stuff accomplished this evening out there. What do you have to say about your performance and the performance of your teammates tonight?
My performance couldn't be there without the 40 brothers behind me. As a team, we pride on effort and came out and showed it today.
This is what we call Berlin Brothersvalley football, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, you are our player of the game. And I also have our Friday Night Rivals trophy, and I believe I'm giving it to two big fellas right here. So I want to give you guys the trophy. Berlin Brothersvalley, congratulations. This is week one. This is the presentation of the Friday Night Rivals trophy. Guys, this is your opportunity to be as loud as you want to be. Yeah! Back up to you guys in the booth.
What'd you say, Jeff? No, that's awesome. And two seniors get it, right? Young team, Seth Kimmel, Levi Leonard, who are awesome tonight as well. Kimmel really was the guy at the end to seal the deal for him. And again, that presentation that trophy courtesy of the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving. Let's now check out tonight's key play of the game and play of the game. It is brought to you by Levin Furniture. Promise. It's not that right there. They were running all over the place tonight, and it was this pick six by our player of the game, Corbin Cordell.
He just did a great job. I still don't think Campagna ever saw him, and he was just kind of sitting back there in a soft spot. He read the quarterback's eyes, jumped the route, and off to the house he went.
If those big guys are getting the trophy tonight, Corbin Cordell should go down to the end zone and take that pylon, because he scored twice, tiptoeing and diving and leaning over that pylon tonight.
He sure did.
What an outstanding game for him. He had an offensive and a defensive touchdown as we wrap up week number one. Statement game for Berlin Brothersvalley. And Rick, great high school football. We're back. This is awesome.
Yeah, and that statement is we're young, but we're good, we're talented, we're fast, and we're physical.
And our host tonight, Claysburg-Kimmel, awesome hospitality. We're back here next week for Clearfield and Bedford. Promotional consideration for tonight's broadcast provided by UPMC, UMH Properties, Ziegler Chevrolet, Bud's Auto Sales, American Legion County Fair, Berger and Green Attorneys at Law, Priority First Federal Credit Union, USCO Federal Credit Union, West Central Equipment, Wendy's, NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Crawford's Gift Shop, Thomas Feed Mill, and Keystone Engraving. Today's broadcast was sponsored by the Good Feet Store and Levin Furniture. Friday Night Rivals is a production of Sports Fever Television Network for Sinclair Broadcasting Group. For more information, go to sportsfevertv.net. And thanks again to our executive producer, Gordon Blaine, for getting us back here for high school football in 2025. So that wraps things up here tonight for Jeff Page, Rick Call, and our entire outstanding crew. I'm Brian Tripp. We'll play out with some of the scenes, the sights, sounds, high school football back here in central Pennsylvania. Going to be a great year for these two teams, these two programs, and a great way to start our campaign. We'll talk to you next Friday right here on the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.